All right, everybody, how you doing? I am the old bastard Captain Jack. In the middle is the old bastard O.G.Daniel. And as an addendum tonight, we have a somewhat old bastard, but definitely a lot better looking old bastard. We got Murph for Raider Fans Radio. How you guys doing tonight?
Doing fantastic. Thank you guys for having me. And yeah, I'm not quite as old of a bastard, but I do have a face made for radio. So glad to be here, guys. Thanks for having me.
That's my line, man. You can't do that. But you know,
yeah, my mother always told me that about me too.
Yeah.
But
well, I tell you what, but because we only have Murph on for such a quick period of time, I got a very special guest that I need to add to the broadcast right here.
Hey!
Oh, whoa!
Let's go!
And,
Yes!
Hello, gentlemen.
I kept it from Daniel all day. I had to tell Murph only because he said he only had a short period of time. And I said, you need to make sure you spend as much time with us as possible. And that is FOO, the great Phil Villapiano, who I love FOO. And he knows it because the first time I met him, I hugged him. And he remembers that too. Phil Villapiano, welcome to the show. We are going to be doing a show on you. I know you only have X amount of time tonight, so you tell me when you need to get out of here. We all respect your time, sir, but it is a pleasure for all of the people here in Raider Nation, for all that will be watching and on this, to have you on the show. Phil Villapiano, sir, the floor is yours. Thank you for being here, sir.
Well, thank you, Captain Jack, and Murph. I'm glad you're hanging out with us for a while. And OG, why don't you just call yourself Jack Daniel, man?
I stopped drinking that in my 20s.
I'm looking. Yeah, you look better. You know, you guys look great. Thank you for having me. I love the foot. So you must be in Vegas with the field behind you, right? Is that Allegiant Stadium?
Yeah, I'm stealing some dirt to make some potato chips. It's a long story.
Oh, it looks like you're sitting there right in the field. Very good. I see this. And Murph, that's a great looking room you got. And Captain, I expect nothing less from you than the most outrageous, man cave of all time. And I see you got your patches on. Beautiful.
And this is only a small portion. Trust me, I would do the 360. I know Murph can do like a 360, but Phil, I got to ask you, sir, please. I know you're out and you go from coast to coast. Sir, get to Florida. I will give you a guided tour of the place. I know Murph will give a guided tour of his place. So you go to Tennessee, you see Murph in Tennessee, you see me in Florida, and we would love to have you. But again, our pleasure. It is our pleasure here.
So Captain Jack, let me ask. So we got Raider Nation Florida, Raider Nation Tennessee, Raider Nation Nevada. We got Raider Nation.
I'm actually in South Carolina with a green screen.
South Carolina. Okay, well that's good too. I mean, Raider Nation is everywhere.
Oh yeah,
absolutely. I grew up in the Bay Area. Phil and I, you and I've had a chance to talk a couple times over the years, and I expressed to you that growing up in the Bay Area, growing up in San Jose with uncles that were rabid Raider fans, they were just crazy for that team and the players, and you guys were like superheroes to me growing up, hearing all the stories about all the legendary names, from Kick 'em in the Head to, of course, Snake and Assassin and FOO and Dr. Death and all the amazing players of your generation. And so it's great to again talk to you, and so growing up in the Bay Area, but when we leave the Bay Area, we take our Raider fandom with us. So we just infest all these other areas around the country. So I feel it's my duty to then spread Raider Nation to Middle Tennessee. So absolutely.
But I like that word. You infested them. and I want you guys, did any of you guys get to see the press conference yesterday when Mark introduced our new head coach and our new GM?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I loved when, our new coach, Josh McDaniels, we love this guy. We love him. He's hired. We love him. If he loses, get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
But right now, we love him.
And that's the
And
reason why I couldn't
I
have
loved when he went up to Mark Davis and apologized. And Mark was kind of teasing him at the podium. And he says, "You've now come into the dark side."
Well, the fact that he admitted
Did
it
you
was a
guys
fucking
hear that?
Yeah.
I thought that was the greatest thing that Mark Davis has ever said, because we are the dark side. Look at what you guys got on. You know, you got black and black and black. We're the dark side. I love that.
Johnny Cash of football.
That's right.
We're the Johnny Cash of football. I like that. That's pretty good.
Now, Phil,
I'm drinking, hey guys, I am drinking a delicious glass of Fred Bolitnikov's Cabernet Sauvignon. And I don't know if you guys notice, but Freddie, there it is.
I'm drinking. I'm not going as fancy. I'm drinking it out of my radar mug.
I can't pull anything out. You guys have got it all, man. That's really good. So I thought I would open this, about 4 o'clock to warm up for the show, and so I'm on maybe my 3rd bottle. So be careful.
Oh no, this is good. Unfiltered is best.
And that's what I told them. I said, normally I have shows where I have like language you can't swear. But I said, oh shit, I got fucking Phil Villapiano on. There's no way.
Exactly. Yeah.
Captain, I tried to explain this one night. I was doing a speech, and it got out of control. And then I brought it all back at the end of the night, and I said, "Hey, everybody, those were not nouns or whatever else, verbs." Yeah. I said they were adjectives, and adjectives don't count. And everybody, yeah. So anyway,
that wasn't the speech where you said, "I'm not going to L.A."
We're going to adjectives tonight.
It's nouns, verbs, adverbs, adjectives, exclamations, pronouns. It's all that shit. And we got you here so you can say whatever the fuck you want. And we're just fuck.
But after enough drinks, it turns into one big vowel movement.
Oh, beautiful, beautiful. Well, I'm loving, I'm loving where the Raiders ended up this year, how we made the playoffs after losing to the Giants. And, well, since he ended up pretty good, let's say Giants, Bears.
Yeah.
There was another stupid
Washington fucking Commodores or whatever they're fucking called as of tomorrow, the Commanders or whatever,
but you know what? We had a lot going on outside of the building.
Oh, you're right. Washington.
Yeah, that was brutal.
Hey, man,
that was a rough one.
Hey, it don't matter. We made the playoffs.
Yeah.
And we played pretty darn good against Cincinnati. Josh McDaniels, I think, is a wonderful offensive coach. I don't know what he did with Tom Brady. If he could he just got to teach Derek. Hey, Derek, do some more curls this offseason. Don't give up the ball, No more strip sacks, Derek.
Hand extensions?
I think hand extensions. I never thought about that. I remember that one game when he dove over the goal line and the ball flew out of his hands. It cost us
time because he did it 3 fucking times. He did it against the Cowboys. He did it against the Packers. And I was, I wasn't at the Cowboy game, but I was there in Green Bay when he fucking did that. And then 2 plays later, they got a touchdown. So it was a swing of 14 points.
Kills you. Absolutely kills you. So anyway, but we're not going to bash him because, kid can do it. When it comes time to do it, boom, 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 boom. Everything's good. And then you get inside the 5-yard line. I don't know what happens. Bring on Mariota. I'm hoping this new coach, can put both of those quarterbacks in and use them both. And it could be pretty funny to watch. And really use them and really think about it this offseason. Josh McDaniels, look at those people. Look at those wide receivers up in New England. You never even heard of them. He made them superstars. This guy knows how to move the ball down the field. I like what we got. And I say we go defense in the draft. And if we don't get anybody great in the draft, then we do a free agent, one big. I don't know what we need. I think I would love to see a 5 or 6 year really superstar defensive back that just hates the team he's on and comes over and helps us gel. We're close. We got talent. We got speed. But, and we got a coach. We got a defensive coach. So anyway, we're close, guys. I think we probably maxed out this year considering what happened to Coach Gruden and what happened to, our boy.
Yeah. That's when we went on that streak, but that bad streak against the NFC least. But if we pick up a couple of offensive linemen in free agency.
Man, how much pot are you smoking, man? That's a pot smoker's cough.
I don't smoke pot.
No.
No, I get too paranoid. I start looking, the squirrels start staring at me, and I know they're going to rat me out to the cops. I don't go there.
Oh, this is beautiful. Hey, Captain Jack, you never told me I was getting on a show like this. My man over here's got that. He's got that old, I thought the pot nowadays was cleaner. Like didn't make you cough so bad.
No, I don't do pot. Nope. No, and I've had this voice when I was a little kid. When I was a little kid, I used to be able to sing like Otis Redding and stuff. I mean, and Jackie Wilson, and then I would sing. No, I was gravelly voice as a kid. Like my friends called me Froggy.
Yeah, I think you could do it. I think you could become a singing star. That's a beautiful voice.
Hey,
everybody tells me I sound like Joe Cocker.
Little story. Story.
There is a question out there for you as well.
No, hey, Captain Jack, I want to tell you this story.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Love it.
Greatest storyteller, Raider, legend, right here.
Hey, man, can I show you something? I pulled this picture up. This is from the Biletnikoff Foundation this year.
Oh,
look at that. That's not only the greatest storyteller in the Raider Nation, but in all of sports. That's me and my two co-hosts and Fred Biletnikoff. And look at Phil's holding court right there in the lobby.
That was great.
Best storyteller. So please,
you are the best storyteller in the NFL.
And remember, I bought the wine package there. I got enough Biletnikoff wine for a century. I think they sent me cases of this stuff.
So you like it better than the Woodson?
Anyway, and we're not going to pretend that nobody on the Raiders didn't smoke pot. We're not going to pretend that because that would be unratriotic.
Right.
Unratriotic. It's a new word.
Unratriotic. Got it.
The Raiders only tell true stories. So John Matuszak, one of the most beautiful guys in America. 6'10", 310 pounds. He wore the thong bikini when he came over to my house, and my wife, she couldn't come outside the house. I think she wanted to jump him, but I'm not sure what happened. But anyway, John Matuszak had a friend that was 6'11".
Oh my God!
Pounds, and his name was Purple Man. And the reason I'm trying to tell you the story is because Purple Man would bring down this pot, and they grew it down there, San Jose somewhere, and they were out in the
probably my uncle's
out in the mountains there. And Purple Man would bring it down just for the twos, and it was fed with wine, so it was purple.
Nice,
but it was smooth. So you don't get all that. Listen to my beautiful voice. I was unaffected because I smoked purple. Anyway,
no, I gargle with Drano. That's my secret.
Beautiful. All right. Let's get back to football.
All right, I got a question for you, Phil.
We got sidetracked on Purple Man and twos. Another story. I got a phone call from this from Johnny's sister they're doing a big documentary on the twos, and they want me to be involved in this. So I'm waiting on this guy to call me. You know, he's on twos time. He was supposed to call me right after Christmas when we're in February already. So I haven't heard from him, but this could be the best documentary ever recorded, ever. As long as I'm involved.
They're always interviewing you. You tell the best stories. You know, I remember watching an NFL film one time, and they were talking about Raider royalty, and they wanted to talk about you, and you kind of froze up for a second, like, what?
That's why you're here, because who should we do next? And I said, it's got to be Phil Villapiano. But you talk about somebody that just smacks of what the Raiders of the 70s represented was you. And that's why I gave you that big hug when I first met you, because it's like I saw you and I just said, there's Phil fucking Villapiano. And I wish, and hopefully your daughter still has it, the look on your face when I'm reaching up to give you a hug, and I'm not sure if it was terror, surprise, or a little bit of both, but it was, you shitting your pants about what is this dude doing, but it was wonderful because again, you embodied that and you were there live, and I just couldn't contain myself. So, I've always wanted to tell you that, and every time I see you, it's always my pleasure because again, like you said, there's nobody that tells a story better than you because you are awesome as fuck, and that's why we have you here.
Well, thank you,
Wow.
Captain Jack. And I got this crazy thing about my brain. I don't think I'm ever going to have one of these problems that the other guys had. Even though I played linebacker and I love to smash in there with my head, I remember stuff. And I remember the little goofy things about a lot of things. And it all works out. I don't know how it all works out, but I love to tell stories. And I remember little teeny things. And the little teeny things, you add them up, you got a good story. You know what I mean? So the two story. I never thought I never thought I would tell the two story about the purple, but it needed to be told. Nobody knows that.
So that's an exclusive here.
That's exclusive from us. So we got that.
Nobody knows about that.
That's I'm going to tell you right now. If I ever saw you, I don't. If I ever saw you in public, I'd probably give you a hug too. Just the way you can ordered O.J. Simpson. Remember that? I thought you killed him. I thought you killed him.
That just happened. OJ was just so fast and so strong, and he actually set that up by making a move that nobody thought he could make, and he's going around the end, and Willie Brown is coming up on him, and he just cut on a dime, and he just didn't know I was there. So, OJ, you're in Florida somewhere. Surface, tell me you love me, OJ. I love OJ. And I go into the Pro Bowl game with OJ, and I never saw anything like this in my life. When one person took over all of these superstar AFC guys, there was only one person that could be the captain of that team, and it was OJ Simpson. One of the greatest guys I ever met. I loved him to death. I have no clue what happened, and I'm not going to comment on that, but OJ, I love you. And, he's underground somewhere, but if he's hey, Captain Jack, is he a subscriber to your show?
No, but if you call him up, I'm sure he would. In fact, if you call up Franco, because I know you guys are very tight every time, the last time we saw you guys together was when you went out to Oakland that one game, where it was like the last season there. You brought Franco out there to the Black Hole. What a friggin' gathering having Phil Villapiano and Franco Harris at the Black Hole. So I'm sure you tell Franco, you tell OJ, we'll get everybody on here and it'll be awesome.
Well, it would be a wonderful thing. And you remember and all Raider fans that are watching the show, it was Franco, and I talk about this a lot, how he was inducted into the black hole.
Yes.
And the reason that I went to black hole royalty, right, Cisco, and I said, hey, when I went to Pittsburgh for the 45th anniversary of the Immaculate Reception.
Deception.
I get
you, Phil. Sorry.
They put me into the Franco's Italian Army, and they gave me that steel hat and all that. So I made sure Cisco knew that we need to do something in return, and he put him in the black hole. Franco loves being in the black hole. Only Steeler of all time, and we don't want anybody else from the Steelers. We hate them. But I did get a call from Franco after we beat I was going to say San Diego, those jerks in blue, whatever, light powder blue people that we beat and knocked them out and let the Steelers into the playoffs. Franco actually complimented me, and he said he was rooting for the Raiders that day.
Beautiful.
Don't tie, just beat those guys. And the Steelers made the playoffs, and they were probably the worst team in the playoffs. We're back to hating them again.
Hey, man.
Hey, Captain, read that out.
I wanted to get a word in edgewise, and I didn't want to. I hate getting Phil in half sentence. Jack Kennedy, also one of our older OGs, said, "Please tell Phil that Jack Kenna, one of us, said hello, watching the 70s, salute and mad respect, true Raider at heart." And again, Jack Kenna is one of the folks that were like all three of us here that loved you, loved the Raiders growing up, and obviously still do, but loved and respect the Raiders of the 70s on. Actually, the 60s too, but I said we're talking the inception of the team that everybody knows, which is the 70 Raiders on, because the 60 Raiders were a little bit different, but the 70 Raiders is what we get most of our blood from, all of our great memories from. It's you guys, because there is no other team like that. In fact, if I'm not mistaken, a couple years back, they had the 76 Raiders as the best team ever as far as when they did the records and all that as well. The 76 Raiders were selected either by SI or somebody as the greatest collection ever as a team. And I agree with that.
Hey, Captain Jack, you're right. And I'm in California, my home in California, but if you're in New Jersey, I got that thing on the wall from Sports Illustrated. #1 team ever.
Yes, sir.
76 Raiders. And that was a super group of guys, and Al Davis wouldn't let go, man. He kept us together and kept adding and adding and adding till he won it. And I think, this Raider team right now, this team is pretty good. Got to add and add and add, and then you get a new coach with some good ideas. Next year, baby, I'm all in for next year. I can't wait. I don't even want to see a Super Bowl. I want to see our opening game next year. That's my Super Bowl.
Yeah.
I have a question. I got to get going in just a minute, guys. If Phil, I'd like to ask you.
Excuse me.
Yes, sir.
You think I don't got to get going?
You're allowed. You stay as long as you want.
No, I'm telling you, you stay too. I want you there. I feel comfortable.
Hey, Murph, sit the fuck down. Villapiano said that you're fucking staying because
you're staying, Murph. Ask the question.
All right.
Murph, what's the question, Murph?
My question is this: so taking the team that Al Davis built and the close-knit locker room that you had the utmost of camaraderie and the utmost of teamsmanship in that locker room of those Raiders teams of the 70s. We saw the Raiders this year go through unprecedented adversity. We saw them go through the craziest of things this season. What is it that the Raiders did that in drawing from your comparison from what you guys did? What is that, the importance of that locker room? Then that stick togetherness, that you remember that brotherhood that you all have in the locker room. Talk about that, about the contrast. Is there one moment that you can reflect back on in the 70s that was adverse, that you all had to like really gel together and really come together as a team to get over, a hump or whatever that may be? Is there any comparison there that you can draw, or like, because those are things as fans, we don't get to see that. That's pulling back the curtain and we don't get exposed to those types of stories. Can you speak on that?
That's a great question. And it was almost like weekly something would happen and somebody would be in trouble. And of course, John Madden would bury it and no one would ever know about it. But I mean, we had a zillion incidents, but I don't know. When you said it, I remember when Caroli Davis, who I love so much, and that's Carol Davis, Al's wife, she got sick. I never saw the team react. And it was like I think we went to Baltimore or somewhere that weekend. We just kicked the shit out of somebody and we did it for her. And it was because she was such a part, and everybody, you got to at the game. There's Al over there doing his thing and walking around, not talking to anybody. And his wife was just so nice. I mean, we won every game, and he bitches about everything, but she was so nice. And she got sick, and Al actually didn't come to 2 or 3 games. I think that was kind of like, we're winning these games for Al. We're winning these games for Caroli, and that I remember. I don't remember anything like what happened to John Gruden. He just got screwed. You could say it, Captain. Say he got fucked. Go ahead, you say it.
He got fucked, Phil.
Yeah, fucking targeted.
Targeted. Everything. That was the worst thing I've ever seen. And then our poor wide receiver, Ruggs, right on top of that. Bad luck, bad timing. Everybody does something, he was another, and then we got the guy with the movie. What the fuck was he doing? I want to smack him so hard.
Wannabe gangster, Arnett.
Yeah,
Arnott.
Gangster. Get out of my sight. I never want to see that kid again. So anyway,
nobody's going to see that kid again.
Man, this is, we went through some tough times. And when our coach, Biscacci, when he beat Denver, beat the shit out of him in that first game, that he was, I said, wow. But I knew there's going to be some residual. It just has to be. Nobody can do that. Anyway, we had the residual, and then we got it all back together again, and then we got the playoffs. I was in Dallas when they beat Dallas. That was ridiculous. You lose to the Giants and beat Dallas. How do you do that? You lose to the Washington and beat Dallas. How do you do that? And you beat the Eagles. How do you do that? So anyway, I think the Raiders did a wonderful job in spite of. And guys, I know we're all professionals, and I know you're not supposed to let anything bother you, but if you don't have a heart, you got to have a heart when you play football too, even at that level. And I know it's do or die and all that stuff. I always like to call it black or white. If you play black, you're gone. Play white, you're good. There's nobody cares, but yet there is a caring. And in the NFL, all those players love each other, and all those coaches, that's why all these coaches you get cut here, you get hired here, right? They all take care of each other. There's a brotherhood in the NFL, and man, the Raiders got tested this year. It was amazing. I think they did about as good as they could do.
Someone in the comments put, "Thank God there was no social media in the 70s and 80s." Oh yeah, half the Raiders have been in prison.
Well, yeah, those cell phones, man, you got to be very, very careful about them. And you're right. But these kids growing up with them, they know. I remember my wife with my son in high school, Michael. He's a quarterback of the team. They're winning all these games. They got him with a beer. She wanted to kill him. Michael, you won't go to college. You won't, because somebody can put it everywhere. Yeah, we all know that now.
Yeah, it can ruin people's lives.
Absolutely. And there's a group out there, Jack Daniel, there's a group out there that, man, would I like to know who in Goodell's office read those things and leaked it. You're not supposed to be looking for John Gruden, but we all know,
Yeah, he's supposed to be looking at the Washington what the fucks, and then let's bury Gruden. He was targeted. I hope his lawsuit opens up all the books and exposes everything in the NFL.
Jack Daniel, get some purple, please.
Oh my God, I'm more of a rum guy.
I love this.
Great. I just got re-nicknamed by Phil Villapiano. I can't change that.
Yeah, no, you're the best. You're the best. You're the best.
Captain Jack Daniels with the Murph, so we got everybody knows what your name is from now. You can be O.G.Daniels, but you'll have to be Jack O.G.Daniel, but you got to have Jack in there, because when Phil Villapiano says you got the name, or when Phil Villapiano says sit the fuck down, you're not going anywhere.
Exactly. You know what? That's the thing. I got nicknamed by Phil Villapiano. I'm sorry. I got a nickname from a YouTube content creator, and I love the guy, but now I'm gonna have to be Jack Daniel.
You gotta be, man. It's just the way it is. I got a bottle of that right out there. I if we had a commercial break, I'd go bring some back.
You want to hear a story?
Yeah, I want to hear a story. Go ahead.
I was in the Navy. I was over in Thailand. Right. I went to this little bar on the beach. There were little huts. And I walk in, and I'm like, I used to drink Jack Daniels. And I told the guy, I was like, you got Jack Daniels? No, Jim Beam. I'm like, what's that up there? And he pulls up this bottle off the shelf. The label was gray. And he blew the dust off it. Oh, this no good no more. I got this 19 years ago when I opened a bar. I was like, whoa. I collect old bottles. Let me, how much? He said 30 baht. 30 baht at that time was $2.
Nothing. 30 baht.
It was 15 baht for $1 American, so it was $2. I said, you got any more of these? We went around behind the back, and there was this case with 5 bottles. I could see where they were, covered in cobwebs. And I'm like, oh, is that it? And he went, no, wait. And he sprays a hose in there, and these scorpions all come out. Pull the box out. There's the other bottles. They're all gray and weathered, too. I was like, okay, so I bought 6 bottles of Jack Daniels for $12 that was older than me at the time. They were 26-year-old bottles total.
Wow.
That was the most cheapest, wonderful drunk I think I ever did for a week in Thailand.
Did you ever get them home and keep at least?
I got 2 back to the ship, and I went to the commanding officer and I said, sir, can you I've got something that I got in the safe, and I know we can't have it on board, blah, blah, blah. He goes, what do you got? I got 26-year-old bottles of Jack Daniels. He goes, how many you got? I said 2. He goes, well, one of those are mine, right? I said, yes, sir. And so I got one home, and when we got done with deployment back in San Diego, my buddy Bruce was like, what'd you do with the last bottle? I was like, I saved it, and you and I are tearing that son of a gun up tonight. Yeah. So I don't have many more. That was back in 1980. And but yeah, man, I'm gonna tell you right now, that was one of the smoothest things. You didn't have to mix it with nothing. It was smooth.
Oh, I love it, Jack Daniels. Okay, Jack Daniels, you got your name. I love it.
If you name me, sir, I gladly accept it.
Captain Jack, let's
Sir.
do a couple from people because I got to get out of here.
Yes,
I got
sir.
my good friend Glenn Carano sitting in the kitchen. You remember Glenn Carano played for the
quarterback
Cowboys?
of the Cowboys, right? And his
Yeah,
daughter
he's
the
sitting in the kitchen. Should I bring him in and put him on?
Hey,
Yeah, absolutely.
More the merrier, man. We're good. In fact,
We'll talk about the Thanksgiving game. Get his opinion.
Guys, we had that game. We gave it away, and we brought it back. You know, that was crazy. What a crazy game that was.
I do have the question. Like I said, Jack Kenna will kill me because I am trying to moderate and have fun at the same time. What do you think of the softer defense play nowadays? You and your teammates play tough and hit hard. That's facts. Also, he wanted, because I remembered before Jack, somebody asked, I'm pretty sure it was Jack, your views on Denzel Perryman at linebacker. So I got you 2 questions right there. Okay.
Well, first of all, and I'm glad you asked that. That's very good. And George Blanda dies. So Al Davis calls everybody to, come, we're going to have a, if you played with George and, we're one of his buddies. So he has a, and Al, he was so good. If anything happened to anybody, it's Raiders forever, blah, blah, blah. So we go out there and there's tables, round tables. We're in the Coliseum and we're having a dinner and everybody, gets to talk a little bit about George Blanda that night. But I'm sitting at a table with John Madden and coach says to me, hey, Phil, what do you think about, hey, FOO. Nobody, I never heard him ever call me Phil. Hey, FOO, what are you thinking about the new rules? And I go, Coach, what rules? And he goes, the safety rules, And I said, Coach, I really think they're good. And he goes, oh? He goes, I never suspected you to say that. And I said, Coach, we need those rules. The football is hot right now, the concussion thing and all that stuff. I said, and Coach, somebody's going to die. And he goes, you're absolutely correct. So John Madden, and a lot of people don't know that in this Raider Nation. Listen, John Madden was the chairman of that committee. It wasn't called the safety committee, but it was called something like that. And John implemented those rules. And I remember I was the one that picked up Jack Tatum after he hit Darryl Stingley. It was
a clean hit.
Fault. Grogan, man, the linebackers are going this way. Okay, you throw which way people are rotating. He threw right in to the coverage, and Jack was coming, and Darryl was coming this way. And that hit was just a normal Jack Tatum hit, except it broke his neck.
Yeah, but he used his shoulder. That would be a clean hit today.
I don't even know if they ever saw head, shoulder. It don't matter. He nailed him. But you got to be. I'm very happy. Get away from the knees and get away from the head. And this game is still, when people talk about, hey, man, these guys are sissies nowadays. I'm like, oh, yeah? Why don't you strap on one of your chin strap and go out there and see if you could take a bam right to the face? No, nobody can. These are gladiators. These guys are huge and great players and as tough as can be. And no, this game is still the most ridiculously hard game in the world. Tough game. Brutal game in the world.
And the players keep getting bigger and faster and stronger.
And you got to protect them in some way.
Yeah. Yeah, and I mean, trust me, it was fun watching you with the wrapped up can opening guys. You were like,
but that was legal. It was
legal then.
And I learned it from my teammates. I was innocent.
It was fun watching. You were like the can opener king, though.
Well, that's funny. And looking at you guys back in the day, like everyone had these clubs and like look at your left arm and there's like barely any tape on it, but your right arm, you're from the elbow down. You got this freaking
Bob Boomer Brown had the deadly thumb, and then George Atkinson copied it.
Yeah.
Oh, I know. And my elbow was like as hard as this table, but it wasn't my elbow. It was a little something that we invented.
A weaponized elbow.
Hey, so we need Captain Jack. I got to get out of here pretty soon. So we need to. What is this?
Yes, sir. It was an absolute honor to have you on this show.
Before you go, and I need to say this as well, for all those that are watching, obviously, please share this up both on my channel and Chronicles of the Black Hole channel. Whichever channel you're watching, please share this up to get the views out, because, Phil, it is very important to us that you are being considered for Hall of Fame nomination. It's well overdue. It's well overdue. What do we need to do to get that done, to help you out? Because, again, when you look at what it means to be a Hall of Famer, and you go to the later committee, whatever you call it, like the senior committee, we want to make sure that gets done. Cliff Branch is looking like he's going to make it this year, and that's well overdue as well.
Amen.
Kenny Stabler.
It's overdue. What do we got to do to get it in there?
We want you to be there, and I'm not trying to be morose, but we want you to be there so when you give your fucking induction speech, that you can have all these stories.
You deserve to be in, sir. And let me ask you a question. You written any books?
Yeah, you need to do that as well.
Why? You're the best damn storyteller in the NFL. Of all people, you should write a book.
We got to do that. I got to do that. I got to get the right guy. How about you, Jack Daniels? Can you write? Me and you, baby.
Actually, you're in Los Angeles, right?
Well, Palm Desert.
I'm on the other coast.
Wait a minute. I'm only in Palm Desert in the winter. I'm in New Jersey in the summer. Whoa. Coach Madden. Another little story for you there, Jack Daniels. Hey, so Coach Madden, every once in a while you got to go heart to heart with Coach, and they call you in and you just talk about things. And I'm doing pretty good now in Oakland. Everything's wonderful. And he goes, "Hey, FOO, what are you gonna do when you're done?" I said, "Coach, I'm going back to New Jersey." And he goes, "What?" And he goes, "Why are you going back to New Jersey?" I said, "I love New Jersey. I love the Jersey Shore where I live."
Yeah, it's funny. My ex-wife is from your hometown.
Yeah, but we had that going and all that. And you know what he said to me? "FOO, if you live in Oakland, you'll never work a day in your life." And guess what? I'm 40 years removed from retiring, and I've been working every day. I should have listened to Coach and stayed in Oakland. But anyway,
my ex-wife's from Asbury Park.
I tried to Coach a couple times, and that was one. I love the Jersey Shore. So you're on the East Coast, you said. Where are you from?
I'm originally from upstate New York.
Oh, Buffalo.
No, Syracuse, Ithaca, those places. My ex-wife's from Asbury Park.
That's Buffalo to me, baby. I did 4 years in Buffalo.
No, it's funny. I've been to Asbury Park. My ex-wife is from there.
Hey, Phil, if you got one quick, for those that don't know how you got to Buffalo, you can indulge as well. And then remember,
everybody loves this story.
Remember, folks, we need to get Phil in the Hall of Fame. When you tell the story, sir, then again at the end, you need to tell us how we help you and help. I know your daughter has the webpage as well. All we need to do to get you in the Hall of Fame, sir. But again, I'll let you tell the story.
Well, Cap, now I'll tell the story, but I have no clue how to get me in the Hall of Fame. I just wish they would have counted tackles back when I was playing and counted sacks and counted this and counted that. There was no defensive stats, and that's a lot of our, the guys could get missed that way. But anyway, don't matter. And this is a good story to end our night with, okay?
Yes, sir.
So I'm back. So it all starts out here in Alameda. And we're back we're in the off season. We got about 16 Raiders. We go play all these golf courses, Pebble Beach, everywhere. We go play the courses, and we all play for free. And then we come in and drink and go wacky. And half the, whatever, all the guys were Raider Nation. They'd all come in. We'd be putting on a show. It was cool. So anyway, we're playing over in Alameda at a new course. And for the people that live in, it's on the left side. As you go into the airport, it's on the left side. Of course, just open. So we're coming in, and the pro comes out on the front steps as we're coming in, and he goes, "What's going on? You guys are moving to Los Angeles." And I was walking up the steps with Gene Upshaw, and I looked at Uppy, who's the captain of the team. Uppy, what's going on? He goes, "No clue, no clue." We go in, there's Al Davis on TV all dressed up, and he's announcing that we're going to Los Angeles. They won't fix the stadium, blah, 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 blah. So we're leaving. So anyway, we drink a lot at the country club, and then we go to Dave Dalby's house, and finally the Oakland Tribune finds out where half the guys are. And I was the last guy, and I'm not a great drinker, so the beers were kind of affecting me.
Well, I'm writing your book. I'll help you work on that. But go ahead.
Yeah, we could do that, Jack Daniels. So anyway, I get on the phone, and I don't know what I said, but I was so pissed because I know the Raider fans, and I know Oakland, and they loved. And they loved the players. They loved the team. They loved everything about the Oakland Raiders. And now we're leaving. And I said, this is totally wrong. It's all about money. All he thinks about is money. Pa, 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 pa. And I'm talking about Al Davis. I'm talking about Al Davis.
Yes, Eric, share it.
Stupidest thing I could ever do. So now I get done with whatever I said. I don't even remember. The next morning in the Oakland Tribune, Villapiano won't go. My wife, Patty, looked at me and she goes, "You're gone." I'm like, oh my God. But we had 2 more years in Oakland. So I'm playing. Everything's great. Al and I are happy, go lucky. I'm back in New Jersey. I'm trying to work in what I do now is I'm in transportation. I was trying to do that as an all-season job. It's just getting going. So I'm working back there, and it's Sunday morning. I take my kids to church. I come home, and Patty goes, "Al's on the phone. He wants to talk to you." And I get on the phone, and he goes, "Phil, how you doing?" And I'm like, "Great." He goes, "How's your knee?" I said, "Al, my knee is fine, man. I've already played 3 years. Don't worry about my knee. I'm perfect." I go, "What's up?" And he goes, "Look, we're looking, Freddie left. That's pulling the cough. Cliff, we don't know. We need a wide receiver. Can you, and we got a guy. We're looking at Bobby Chandler out of Buffalo." And I'm like, "Bobby Chandler, I played in a Pro Bowl game with him. Great guy. Matter of fact, he's got the long hair like Freddie. He's a great one." And I think, I mean, he's a great player. And he goes, "Phil, I don't want to be wrong. I need to know if he can be a Raider. Raiders are different from other people. Can this guy be a Raider?" And I said, "Al, this guy can be a Raider. But he's all pro. You're going to have to give up somebody good for him. Who we want to give up?" And he goes, "You." And then all of a sudden, I remembered the headline: Villapiano won't go. Well, he made sure I wouldn't go. He goes, Phil, I think we're going to trade. We're going to trade you for him. And I said, and I was ready to argue with Al. I said, Al, am I gone? He goes, you're gone. 3 minutes later, Chuck Knox called me up, greatest guy in the world. I became a Bill, had 4 great years up in Buffalo. It all turned out great. Al and I, we loved each other to the end. And all good. Captain Jack, I got to get out of here.
Sir, it's been a pleasure, and I have my.
Thank you, sir, for coming on here. You are a legend. You are a legend.
Hey, Jack, he's drinking some Jack over here, I think.
No, well, I got my Grand Marnier. Everybody knows that. You have yours, and we thank you for being
here.
Let's have
a toast. Let's have a toast.
Hey, salute. Salute.
Raiders.
Salute.
That's
great.
Right.
Hey, Captain Jack, call me anytime.
Yes, sir. And it's been
you, Murph, you were great. You hung in there, Murph.
Yes,
Jack,
sir.
You were great. Wait a minute.
Hey, Glenn. Hey, Glenn. Good to see you, Glenn.
Glenn, they know this is Glenn Carano from the 49ers, not Cowboys.
Hey, and Glenn, I do remember you playing for the Cowboys, but most people, unfortunately, we're old. We remember you. Most people will know your daughter, but we remember you.
Hey, well, that's good. Keep my daughter in good memories. There, she's still active. Follow her in Hollywood. Follow her in Hollywood.
We'll follow everybody. We're going to follow Phil. We're going to follow you. We're going to follow your daughter. We just say, this is for everybody. Salute to all folks. Have a great day.
Very nice. Hey, Captain Jack, you bring Gina on your show. You'll have more people than you know what to do with. She's big
Gina
time.
needs to be back on the Mandalorian. She needs to be back on the Mandalorian as soon as possible.
Mr. Carano, I'll be more than happy to do that. You talk to your daughter, have her on. We will have a great show, but obviously it's got to go through her time. We appreciate it. We bring on some great people here. We only do it because we have a great family that loves hanging out with people. So thanks again, sir. Mr. Carano, you can get my number. I can get your number from Phil if that's cool, and we will go from there. And again, salute to everybody in the house.
Salute, guys. Good night, everybody.
You guys have a great Super Bowl.
Good night, sir. Thank you for the memories, and thank you for the stories.
All right, baby. Love you guys. Bye-bye.
Hey, Phil, thanks again, sir. We love you, sir.
Okay, baby.
Phil, you're going out to dinner with Gino on Sunday night.
I'm going out to wait a minute. Wait.
I didn't touch it. I didn't touch it.
There we go. Hey, Jack. That was legend.
I had my thing on the remove, but then I was hearing about you going out with Gina Sunday night, and I was like, oh. So and then I didn't tap it. It's like, damn, he left.
Jack,
guys, that was amazing. Thank you so much for having me on here tonight. That was incredible. What an amazing opportunity. I love both of you guys, and having FOO on, that was epic. So, but I got to say goodnight, Raider Nation, man. Love you guys, and thank you so much for having me.
Good night, Murph. Follow Murph at Raiders Fan Radio. Please, he has one of the most entertaining shows you'll ever see on Wednesday night.
Appreciate that, guys. Thank you very much.
And Murph, one of these days I'll actually get the fuck out of work or do something where I can actually call you. I swear I will do it. Just
come on, man. Let's go. Let's go. I'm not hard to find.
Yeah. I said I will do that. I just need to leave work early. That's the only thing. I got to do it.
Anytime, man. Anytime. You're always welcome. And Daniel, always love to hear from you on our chat and our calls and all that, man. Keep them coming, brother. We love you.
Absolutely.
All right, guys. All right. Have a good night. We'll see you.
Good night, Murph.
All right. Bye-bye.
Wow. Shit. I didn't get to read any stats or tell any stories. We heard it directly from him.
That's why. That is why. And I didn't want to waste any time. And I kept it from you. For those that don't know, Daniel had no fucking clue that Phil.
I had no fucking clue.
Okay. No clue. The only person that knew was me, Phil, Jim Adams. I had to tell Murph because he was supposed to leave early. I'm glad Phil put him in his fucking place.
Phil fucking straightened that shit out.
You're staying here. You're staying here.
And I got a new nickname by a legend. I'm going to accept it. O.G. Jack Daniel.
Jack Daniel, man. That's great, man.
Holy shit, dude. I'm going to
Yeah.
go change my underwear. I'll be right. No, I'm just kidding.
No, I know. That's why I tell you, if you're on Instagram, I'm looking at my Instagram right now. If you haven't gone to YouTube yet, all you heard was go to YouTube to watch the show. Watch the show on YouTube. Captain Jack Rackham Levy, Chronicles of the Black Hole. We got a bunch of people in the house. We're gonna have more people watch it later, but you could have seen it live.
Holy shit. Holy shit. I got to have a conversation with a fucking legend.
Yep.
Not just a legendary storyteller, a legendary player.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, he used to do the can opener like crazy. He'd get you by the freaking back of your helmet around your neck.
Yes, sir.
Get your head into the dirt.
Oh, while you talk for a little bit, I got to text Phil and say thanks again because out of the, you know.
Absolutely. Hell yeah, man. That was freaking awesome.
Yes.
I was blown the fuck away when you brought him in, and I'm like, I knew you knew it. I knew that.
Yeah, I know.
But when you said you were bringing him, when you brought him in, I'm serious. I got to go change my fucking underwear. I damn near shit myself. And
well, I knew you were getting a kick out of it.
Getting to talk to Phil, that's I like to tell people that I'm a storyteller, but shit, not that fucking, that's out of my league, bro. And anybody who's in here, share this video on Facebook, share it everywhere. Like, we brought a legend in tonight. We brought in actually two, because Murph from Raiders Fan Radio is a legend to me. I was so happy that he was going to come to the show, and I knew about that. And then we got him in. I think you kind of shocked him a little bit bringing in Villapiano.
Yeah. I said share up the YouTube links. Share up the YouTube links if you can. Please do that. Facebook is fine, but share up the YouTube links and make sure that people, if you enjoyed the show, if you enjoyed everything after the show, I ask you kindly after the show to comment after the show, because your comments brings more traffic, and we want to do more for you, myself and OG Jack Daniel, and that's great that you'll be able to have that.
I'm gonna change my stuff so it says that, but I gotta tell you, man, wow, I gotta tell you, there's that was something awesome. Share the links for both shows. If you are not subscribed to our shows, dude, we're bringing you the best content we can get. We're not huge, but look at that. We brought in amazing content. Share the links for both of our shows. Like and subscribe, please. Hit the like button. If you're in my channel, hit the like, hit the subscribe if you like this kind of content. If you're in Jack's channel, Jack is fucking legend. Hit like and subscribe on his channel. Now, Old Man Bladder is going to be here. I need you to cover me for a couple minutes. You did
I'm there. And again, we got OG to do a potty break. But again, now I'm not removing OG. Oh, Lisette, don't worry. Go back at the beginning as well. Like I said, we had Phil Villapiano on. I had Phil Villapiano on, and again, and this is one of the greatest comments I heard. And Ed Winchell said that absolutely died when FOO asked OG, "How much pot do you smoke, bro?" Classic. And it was great. And again, Hammer's House is in here as well. Hey, Chef Victor, good to see you, sir. I have the number one, and I'm not lying. I have the number one chef in the Dominican Republic as my friend on Instagram, and he is here. He was the chef to the Presidente in the Dominican Republic. Chef Victor, good to see you, sir. Always a pleasure, and thank you for being here. And remember, Hammer's House is in here as well. Hammer's going to have a show this Saturday as well. Make sure you join that as well. Get on over to YouTube there, Hammer's House, because we love having you in here. And again, it was my surprise and an early gift. Whenever
Valentine's Day, Captain. Thanks. Those are roses. Dude,
something.
can we put the link in, man? I'd love to have some other people come on and talk with us because, holy shit, that was fucking awesome.
Now, Richie Riche says that you can pee while podcasting. Basically, you do now since your camera doesn't pan down.
Oh yeah, get the Gatorade bottle with the big wide mouth. Got it.
That's right. You can Gatorade pee, but that's okay as well. I'm gonna put the link up, okay?
Yes.
But remember, before I do this as well, okay? We are gonna go through and Daniel, O.G.Daniel is going to talk about the great gentleman that you just saw. Okay? So, because he has the stats, he has the figures. And again, what makes Phil Villapiano a Hall of Famer is obviously not just the fact he's the best storyteller in the NFL.
No, there was a lot more.
Yeah. And what we're gonna have Daniel do that. Jack, I see you, brother. We'll let Daniel do his numerics, and then we'll bring you in there, shipmate. I see you. You're there. You got your place in line there. But I definitely want to make it because I know Daniel works very hard at this.
Mm-hmm.
He goes through and he is meticulous in what he brings out. So Daniel, without further ado, sir, please enlighten us as to the great Phil Villapiano.
Phil Villapiano from Bowling Green University was drafted by the Raiders in 1971. He played with the Raiders for 9 years, 71 through 79. In 1971, he was the AFC Defensive Rookie of the Year, 75 and 76 NFL Pro Bowl, 72 through 76 All AFC Pro Bowl, 76 member of the Oakland Raiders Super Bowl 11 team. He was known for coverage, and he actually was covering Franco Harris during the Immaculate Deception, so he was a little pissed about that, I'm sure. He was one of the fastest linebackers in the era, okay? He was known for big plays. A lot of picks. Actually had a 95-yard pick six. The dude would open up a can of whoop ass on the field if you came his way. Okay. He had this thing called the can opener. He'd grab you around the helmet, twist it, pull you down to the ground, slam your head in the dirt. And yeah, he would knock you. That was legal at the time. But Phil Villapiano was known to get into the backfield and crack a running back loss of yards a lot. This guy was amazing to watch, fun to watch. And again, he played for Madden. He was that can of whoop ass. He was that big can of whoop ass. And wow. I'm still a little struck. But Phil's done a lot after that. He's been interviewed by NFL Films multiple times because he is the greatest storyteller. He's got that big personality. He tells it like it is. He just shared stories on our channel that I've never seen him tell before, especially about Muzak. Like that is exclusive on this channel, these channels right now. Okay. He was a candidate for the Pro Football Hall of Fame in 2018. He was named the best sports personality on the Jersey Shore in 2018. He was a senior class candidate in 2019 for the Hall of Fame. He's always been a solid finalist, but he's never gotten in. When he gets up there again, Raider Nation, it is our obligation to make sure that everybody pushes to get this guy in the Hall of Fame. He was that damn good. He was a scary guy to go up against. He would intimidate the shit out of players. Who's that player from, was it Detroit or Houston Oilers? I don't remember. picked him up and flipped him over his back and drove the guy's face into the dirt.
Yeah, I know the play. I just can't remember who. Because I've seen it in NFL films.
Right. I mean,
yeah,
Phil was not messing with you. And you know what? Usually I do the stats and stuff, but damn, man, I got so fucking starstruck tonight. Like, I'm just like, this is awesome as shit, man. And this is probably going to be my favorite show that we ever did.
Well, I'm gonna do a little bit as well because we did. I think Valerie asked. He was 6'2", okay, 225. But he granted, which nowadays is small. But remember, back in the day, 6'2" was a pretty decent size for a linebacker.
They said he was undersized then.
Yeah, and he was. But remember, the speed of what Phil Villapiano brought to it. It wasn't just necessarily the speed. It was the veracity. And when he tackled you, you were going to go down. Like you said, a Super Bowl champion with the Raiders, 72-76 All AFC Pro Bowl, 75-76 All NFL Pro Bowl, 1971 AFC Defensive Rookie of the Year. And again, the best story obviously is basically when Al Davis said, "Hey, we're looking at," and I can picture even Al Davis saying in his heavy Brock stance, "Hey, what do you think about Chandler?" And I'm not doing it justice, but the Bronx brogue that Al Davis said, what do you think about Chandler? And he said, "Yeah, man, I'm all for it. Great guy to come in." And then see, the other thing is that Phil did that twist on it, which I didn't hear in earlier stories.
Right.
You got to give up somebody for him. And I've never heard that portion because I heard the story. And he goes, "You got to give up somebody worthwhile for him." And that was new to me. So that, again, we made some history here with the full story. And,
okay, Purple Man was a whole new story that nobody's ever heard.
Yeah, Purple Man will get us some renown. So again, if you like what you see, and we enjoy doing this, we don't do this because we don't get paid. We don't get paid. We don't get paid. I enjoy it. Daniel enjoys it, and we want to get more things out to everybody, and that's why we do it. So again, if you can put it out there, share it up to everybody. And there's another old fucker that I know likes the shit that we like, and that's why I brought him in here. Oh, according to Ruckus, it was Earl Campbell. If he picked up Earl Campbell,
no, I don't think it was Earl Campbell.
I don't think it was Earl Campbell, but I remember Earl Campbell hitting Tatum, and Tatum hitting him so hard that that
they both knocked each other out.
Yeah, that's right.
So how'd you like the show, bro?
Hey guys, salute to both of you. It's like, what an amazing show. This has been the most amazing show I've ever seen on YouTube. I absolutely love it. Us old guys like to talk about the Raiders and stuff like that. That is a piece of history. It's a piece of history. Villapi is like one of the most amazing players in Raiders history. And I got to ask, Captain, how did you get that worked out? That is amazing.
He knows him.
Well, no. I do know him through events, but I have a buddy that is his running mate in Jersey. Okay. And I texted him. I said, "Hey, we're doing a show on Phil on Tuesday." I said, "Do you think that Phil would be able to join us?" And he said, "Cap, I'll get right back with you." And he did. And he said, "Yeah, Phil would love to do it." And I was stoked because this was last week, before the weekend. And so I called him and I left a message, and I called him and I left a message, and I was like, "Oh man," because you don't want to piss people off as well.
Right.
You're right on that cusp of like, well, so I said, "Jim, I'm trying to get a hold of him, but I called him twice and texted him twice. I just wanted to let him know that I was trying to get him on." He goes, "Hey, don't worry about it. I'll call him." Sure enough, he called him. I get a text from him. He said, "Phil says call him in the morning." Now, here's my dilemma. This was yesterday, or I get the message yesterday. He said, "Call him in the morning." I think he's in California, but I don't know. Maybe he's in the East Coast. So I'm like, oh shit, now what do I do? So I call him, it's like it's 11:15 Eastern time because I'm on my way to work, and I get a hold of him. And so now it's like, hey, Mr. Villapiano, this is Captain Jack. Hey, Jack, how you doing, buddy? Good to hear from you. Blah 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 blah. What, all the things I can do, and I'm like, well, sir, I just wanted to get with you. I didn't know if I says, yeah, it's a good thing I fucking wake up early, because he was at his job. And I wanted to tread lightly because I respect everybody's time. And so having that to do that, and we got a chance to do it. And I said, this is what I'd like to do. Talked about our StreamYard. And, I tried to get it said, and I'm doing this over the phone too. I said, yeah, there's StreamYard. There's the thing. I want to get you all squared away on it. And he goes, it looks like my browser won't work. And I'm like, fuck. Oh, shit. So I go, okay, so, well, sir, here's I'm going to give you my Google number. This is how we'll call in. And I envision, him calling in and, saying, hey, what the fuck are you guys doing talking about me without my permission, yada, yada, yada. So that's how it was going to play out. Well, about 10 minutes later, I get another call from Phil. He goes, hey, I'm supposed to be doing this StreamYard thing as well, and I've never heard of it. And the guy says, don't worry about it. I'm just going to send you a link. I said, well, yes, sir. That's how it normally works, is I send a link, but I hadn't done the link for the show yet. So I'm in the parking lot in my work on my phone, setting up a link for the show, and I'm doing this over the phone. I said, well, sir, here it is. So I want to make sure everything is squared away. And again, I know Captain Jack's stories are always fucking long. But, he said, yeah, I got you. I'm backstage. So I'm like, this is wonderful. Not only am I going to...
Fucker didn't tell me shit.
And I didn't tell him nothing. Okay? There were very few people that knew about it because I wanted to keep it as a surprise. I didn't want to keep it as a surprise. I think it just would have gone over... I think it went over well as a surprise.
Oh my God. It went way over beyond well. It's like this is like unbelievable. It's like he is like, the OG, you're an OG to me, but this is an OG to all of us. And it's like, man, this is a man that you're proud to to watch and listen to. And it's like, yeah, he tells his stories. Yeah, I think he should be him and Charles Woodson, these guys should be calling out our draft picks.
Yeah, but you know what? That's why I called his ass out. You should write a book.
He should write a book.
He's the best fucking storyteller in NFL. Write a book, sir, please.
He should, because you know what? I would buy that book. I would love to read the inside thoughts of this man. I mean,
I'd love him to tell stories like that story he told about Purple Man tonight. He's never told that story.
No,
that was exclusive to our channel.
That was new.
And I got to go to Jersey and help write when he comes out for the warm part of the year.
Well, at least it wasn't a John Matuzak. He gave you your stories on John Matuzak. I know it's your favorite player, OG.
No,
but if John Matuzak wrote that story,
but Matuzak's right there close.
Yeah. That was one of the most amazing things I ever saw.
This is unbelievable. It's like, I am so proud. Captain, wow, I am blown away. This is why I love hanging out with you guys. I watch all the Raider YouTubers, and this is why I always come on here, because us old G's, we've seen this stuff. We've been there. And to get a player's perspective of somebody that is so well respected in that organization, yeah, there should be books.
I'm going to write that damn book. I'm going to go to fucking Jersey and I'll write that book. I can write. I'm pretty good at writing. I'm good at creative writing. I'm going to go. I'm going to talk to Captain and say, hey, ask him when he's going to be in Jersey. I got to go write his book.
Yeah, and I'll proofread it because I'm very meticulous and anal like that. I do that for a living as well.
Right, but we're not going to violate any of these kind of security stuff. But
no, It'll be good.
Written by O.G.Daniel. I'm sorry.
That's
Guys,
your-
tonight
that's
I
your
am
pen name.
changing my name.
You got
on
new
my
nickname.
profile. Because I got
O.G. Jack
named
channel
by
now.
a legend.
That's your pen name.
Yeah, OG Jack Daniel. And again,
Yes.
I don't think that Graphic will have any trouble with you adding the.
I'm sure he'll be cool with it.
Oh yeah, I'm sure he will.
Dude, everyone's cool with that. That is like unbelievable. I bet you Stu would be like, hyping it up too.
Yeah, I'm going to change it. And then people go, what's this OG Jack Daniels shit? And I'm going to say, well, Phil Villapiano was on Chronicles of the Black Hole. He came on the show and he renamed me OG Jack Daniel.
That's right.
Man, that is amazing. This is by far. I'm still awestruck. I'm like,
You?
yeah, I'm awestruck. I'm so awestruck. I thought I was awestruck when I showed you guys like my Cliff Branch hat, and I got to meet him, and I was awestruck. But this is like I'm awestruck. Villapiano is like
I had to go change my underwear for real.
And again, I have to give my friend props because if it wasn't for my buddy, it wouldn't have happened. So again, I will keep him nameless because I will just keep him nameless, okay? Because you don't divulge sources, but I thought
Never let your sources be known.
Well, I'm an intel guy, so you always keep your sources under wraps. That's the way it is. But
that's what I tell everybody. I'm Italian. I tell everybody I got a guy for that.
Okay, Adam Schefter.
Okay, which is a great segue. Which is a great segue. Not everybody in here. We loved having Phil on. We went over the stats. We all love Phil. And like I said, the one thing I will be able to tell you, there is a Facebook group, and it's by his daughter, and it's like FOO for the Hall of Fame.
Yep.
Okay.
I will look it up. Make sure you get into the group. Ask to get into the group. Andrea is his daughter. Great lady. I had a chance to speak to her over a couple occasions.
Very nice lady.
Great gal. And obviously, you know how awesome Phil is. So go to the FOO for the Hall of Fame. Make sure you get in there. Ask what we can do because I swear there's nothing that will prevent us from putting Phil in the Hall of Fame. People were asking, well, who's the next Raider to go in? Okay, and we all knew it was going to be Branch because of where it was as well, and especially unfortunately posthumously. But I want to get Phil Villapiano in there while he's still living and breathing. Because can you imagine?
Yeah.
Let's start a campaign with a tsunami of Raider Nation.
Right,
How about the speech he would give? Oh my goodness!
Oh my God!
That'd be the funniest damn thing in the world.
They'd have to do 7-second delays on both the NFL Network and ESPN because
he
won't be on roadkill, huh, Cap?
Yeah, that's why I couldn't have the show on Roku. I said, I need to do fuck this. I can't do it tonight. So it's like that. I can't even, well, it is taping, but I'll just get rid of the tape. But it's the way it is because this is a great show. I'll keep this for when I need to have a good show to put on. But once
Captain, some of these comments are outstanding as hell.
Oh, yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah. Raider Joe says his daughter runs his Twitter. Make sure, again, Andrea Villapiano Kelly is Phil's daughter. Make sure you get with her or try to do what you can because, again, when Phil gives his time.
Raider Kojo 916.
Yeah. Make sure that you get the go get with her. Okay, there's another person that knew. I told Andrea. Okay, obviously. So there's only a few people that knew. Okay. But I wanted to make sure that Daniel didn't know. And I had to tell Murph because I wanted him to stay as long as he could. And then Phil fucking put him in his place. No, you're fucking staying. If I'm here, you're going to be here too. So
that was awesome.
Get that next comment. Raider Kojo 916.
I wish I could have been in sooner so I could have heard more stories.
Well, that's what the greatness of YouTube is. You guys can go back and watch and tell you.
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna go back and watch it. I'm gonna listen to it tomorrow at work. What I didn't hear, but to get on it and just to see like him and like to hear the stories, what I heard, and like honestly, for you guys to be on there with him, man, that's awesome. That's fantastic. Like
It
I
was
met
awesome
Cliff
for
Branch.
us.
I met Cliff Branch in Miami when we were down there. I think it was 2016 we were down there. I met him and Lincoln Kennedy. I smoked a big stogie with Lincoln Kennedy. It was pretty cool. And Cliff Branch was such a nice guy. I didn't really know what to say to him. I was kind of like in awe, and I was like, you're great. That's about all I could get out. You know, and he's like, it's okay. I'm like, oh man. And that was before I started like wearing my gear and everything. So it was amazing. It was amazing.
You know what's funny is when I met Alzado, he was my hero. He was it. He was like everything. And I talked shit at him. I didn't get all starstruck with him. I just looked. I knew who he was. And I sat there, ordered a beer, and I said, let me ask you a question. How come you ain't got any fucking bounces in this place? And he looked at me and he flexed. And I started laughing. He realized I was fucking with him. He's like,
what's wrong?
Yeah, enjoy your fucking beer. You know?
Well, nice. It's funny because my all-time favorite Raider is Rocket Ishmael. And I met him in Dallas at a card show. My buddy took me as like a surprise. I was going through some personal stuff, you know, I was really down and bummed out about things. And there he was sitting there, and he talked to me like he knew me his whole life. And like, we just talked about Notre Dame and the Raiders. And I told him I wear 86 because of him. I wore 25 in high school football because of him. And he was such a great man to me. Like it was probably one of the highlights of my life. I mean, I've done a lot of things in my life. I met a lot of people, but meeting him was probably the number one thing. And I know he's never getting in the Hall of Fame. He's a college football Hall of Famer. If those of you that know, you know who Rocket Ishmael is.
You know what messed him up? Canadian Football League, where he went to train and the field's wider, and then he had to go back to a narrow field. And Captain, I'd like you to highlight Raider Ruckus's comment.
Yeah. But he talked to me like it was like we knew each other, because I'm from up in Pennsylvania, where he's originally from, up at Wilkes-Barre. Mm-hmm. And it was just, I'm like, well, thanks for letting me meet you. It was great. Thank you for the autograph. He goes, where are you going? Come on, man, sit down. Let's keep talking. And it was just amazing. We talked for like 45 minutes. I was in tears. I was like a child, you know, I didn't really know what to do. And he's only a few years older than me. And it was, I can imagine how you guys felt right now. And
no, you're from there. You're only like an hour from my hometown.
Oh yeah. Awesome.
I'm from Ithaca, New York.
Okay. Yeah, you're right. You were right up the road.
Yep. Up the road. That's it. Right up the road.
Right up the road. Yeah.
See, I lost my segue. I'm going to go back to Adam fucking Schefter.
Oh, wait. You can't go back yet. Please don't go back yet. So you're talking about favorite players. Rocket Ishmael. I'm a big Notre Dame fan. I'm like Docs. I'm a big Tim Brown fan. I watched him in college, going to the Raiders, first round draft pick. But, you know, Cap and OG know this. It's like I like been saying on your guys' channels forever, hey, we want Jim Otto show. You know, I want that. That's my boy.
Your Jim Otto show.
I did. I watched your show. I dude, completely.
Fellas,
you know what I mean?
I got to take the dog out real quick.
So I just had to say that just because we're talking about our favorite players and we're all on here. Otto is my favorite player. He is the Raider of Raiders. You know, there's no other player that has done what he's done at center or any position. The Pro Bowls, you know, all-time Raider, being in the box with Al Davis. You know, he is what it means to be a Raider.
I hope we did it justice for you, Jack.
You did. You did, brother. You guys did. Honestly, I mean, I pushed that for a long time. We watched, you know, a couple other shows, and you guys did a couple of shows. You guys did it true. And, you know, I'm proud of you guys. I love that you guys do this. And I hope one day, you guys get with the young YouTubers like Scout, Icy Nate, Andy, and do an old time Raider show with the young kids show. Skip the guys in the middle, you know, like Docs and Honcho and Raid, and just go old and young.
We don't skip anybody,
guys,
man.
all this stuff.
We do shows with everybody. We don't skip
I know
nobody.
You do. I watch all your guys' stuff, but I would love to see old and young, because you know the young players don't have like what we had when we were kids. We saw a winning tradition. We saw teams that dominated that put the hurt on people. These young kids don't have that same type of tradition like what we grew up in. So
right. Well, we've done shows with Docs. We will do another show with Docs when we do Al Davis.
not Docs, not Honcho, not Ray,
we did a show with Murph. He's in that middle group. Okay.
No, let's do old and young. How about old and young? What do you think?
Jack, we got the idea. We got to clear it first, okay? But I just did a show, and actually Daniel and I just did a show with Hammer last Saturday, okay?
With Violator,
and
I saw that.
And this Saturday we're doing one with Sultan Mir.
Yep.
Nice.
He's a young man, young guy.
So we like to get together with everybody because the market is there for if they want to have us old fucks on
and talk about the old days. We're more than willing. I love Sultan. I go to his show. There's another middle of the road guy, Dirty. He's like 10 years younger than us.
Yes.
But Dirty loves the old school. Dirty loves the new school. Dirty loves everything, and Dirty is the fucking man. And him and I are going to be doing a collab show starting probably this spring, where we're going to be we both cook. We're going to be doing tailgating and talking Raiders and cooking while we do it and eating while we do it.
And going to LA in the summer, right?
Yeah, I got to go to my daughter's graduation. I'll be hanging out with Dirty and with Gabe.
Nice.
So there's a lot of content creators out there, bro. And I love most of them. I watch their shows, I get on their shows, or I just comment on the shows. Andy, let me tell you something. Someday Andy's going to rule all this shit. That fucking kid got stats, got the fucking offensive defensive schemes. This kid is smart as fuck. I love doing and I've done shows with him. And it's like, we had to do a show when Docs was out at a game, and he asked me to step into that role, and I was honored to. Dude gets really emotional.
Now, I'm saying fuck you. I'm saying fuck you to all the people here. I'm going back to my fucking segue, Jack. Okay.
Sorry, Jack.
Okay. Well, no, I'm just saying this is good, and it's
Jack don't like it if you get as long-winded as he does.
Yeah. It's well-meaning.
You're right, OG.
It is a well-meaning fuck you, but we got to talk about, because we talked about Schefter, and when you talk about Schefter, you talk about what's going on in the NFL, and fuck fake pirate bullshit. I don't give a fuck about that. I want to talk about what happened at the press conference with the inauguration, shall we say, the culmination of the passing of the torch to the new regime. Okay, I know Jack Kenna don't like it. I already know you don't like it, so I already got who you wanted, and that wasn't going to happen. But what I'm going to ask everybody here is this: when you're talking about doing comments to the show, this is what I want to hear as your comments. You can put them in the chat, but this is what I want comments to be on the show. What do you believe will be the top end of the Raiders this year with the Ziegler McDaniel regime? Now, granted, we don't know who the DC is yet, and that's very important.
I do.
But okay. What do you think is going on? And go ahead. I know who it won't be, because that gentleman just shot himself.
Let's go counterclockwise.
Go ahead.
Jared Mayo.
Okay. Well,
I think Jared Mayo is going to be our DC. Either him or Wink Martindale.
Martindale. I couldn't remember that damn name the other night.
Yeah. I think it's going to be Wink, and with Jared coming in as the assistant head coach and linebacker guy, because you got to give a job, what do you call it? A promotion.
Well,
he's grab him from another team.
He was the linebackers coach,
right? But if you give him assistant head coach linebackers, then it's a promotion.
I think I mean, I know a lot of people out there in the nation, they don't like the hiring of Josh McDaniel because everybody's still hung up on when he was in Denver. All right? He was 32 years old. Y'all know he was young and dumb. You give somebody that much power, they're going to take it right to their head. Anybody would at that age. I know I would. I'm 44 and I'd still take it to my head with that. You know, I think he learned from it. He grew from it. I think he's going to be just fine for us. And when everybody gets on board, we'll be better off. And I know a lot of people are still going to complain about Derek Carr, and they're still going to complain about, well, we'll lose one game, and they'll be like, oh, can it? Go get somebody else. We should have took Harbaugh. We should have took Harbaugh. Let it go.
Kevin, can you put the link back in?
It's over. Josh McDaniels is our new head coach. Ziegler is our new GM. Get used to it. It's happened. It's there. Get on board.
Joe, jump in. Now,
what I thought
ahead.
was interesting was that Ziegler said that, in his conference, that he is the one calling all the shots with the drafting of players and signing of players and everything else, which I think is good. We need a separation from the Gruden power.
You're right.
But at the same time, it's like I like McDaniels. I hate to say it, Cap. I disagree. I kind of like it now. Our red zone offense has been horrible.
And the thing
and
about
if you can improve that, that's a great thing.
They went to school together. They've known each other for years. They're actually real friends. You know what I mean? And so they're going to be equal. Like Ziegler's going to ask, "What do you think?" And he's going to take it. He's going to be like, "All right, that's a good idea." And it's not like Gruden where it was like, "Well, this is my guy. This is who we're picking." That's it.
As long as they hired him as, to be above him and not to be the equal or not to listen, like being Mayock and like, okay, this is the draft picks that you're going to take, then I like it. I honestly, I want Dodds, but and then actually I heard that Dodds was a part of the interview process, so which is kind of weird.
Yeah,
that Dodds doesn't have a position with our team.
Yeah, it was strange. Like I thought it was going to be Dodds too, and then I was like, well, would it be Dodds and McDaniels? I don't think so, because Ziegler and McDaniels are basically like a package deal,
right?
Which and like you said, Jack, our red zone is going to be great now. I mean, I'm sorry, not great. It's going to be a lot better, I think. And he talked about the defense. He's not running a 3-4. He's basically going to run a nickel, which is a lot of teams run 3 wide receivers. Okay, I'm good with it. Diablo, Nick Morrow, send Corey Littleton packing. I'm cool with that. Give me another corner. There's going to be a couple guys out there. You never know. J.C. Jackson from the New England Patriots is going to be a free agent. He might come to us, and he was a star last year.
Right.
He was a star.
Littleton was all pro, in the 3-4. So I think he's back. I think Carl Nassib's back. I think players that are going to get hurt like Yannick
and we save if we release him. We release Kwiatkowski, who's not but a glorified special teams player now. He can't cover a bed with a blanket. And Littleton had Aaron Donald in front of him. That's why I think he was an all-pro.
Well, that's the other thing as well. Depending upon the fat ass, and I say that lovingly, depending upon the fat ass that is there as the nose /3 in a 3-4, okay, great. Because if Littleton needs that fat ass in front of him in order to aspire to what's going on, great. I don't care. I don't care if we run a 2-3-7. If I'm not adding the numbers up, whatever it is.
No, that's 12. 2-3-6. You mean?
Okay, I don't care if we run a 2-3. Okay, because with the Raiders, it would be a 2-3-7, and of course they throw the flag immediately.
Of course.
But it doesn't matter what the scheme is. It's how they play, how they come to the ball, how they work together as a unit. Okay, and actually, I'm kind of being facetious about a 2-3-6, but if you saw the way that Mahomes was handled in the AFC Championship game in the second half, when the Bengals did the adjustment, and my God, can we get somebody to make adjustments at the half like the Bengals did all year long? Okay. Well, they didn't against us. We actually adjusted against them, I know. We should be playing next week. I get it. Okay.
I know that. I know that Baltimore's defense was a little like they took a step back last year, but they had a few injuries. That's what I was going to say. They had injuries, so I would like the Martindale thing. And like you said, I don't care if we become New England West. They win games. We haven't won games. We haven't done shit. This was the first year we did anything, and I want to build off it. I don't want to go back.
Did you guys, we started out with the original question of the press conference, correct?
Yes.
All right. So let me tell you about the press conference.
No, let's hear it.
My honest opinion, people are not going to like this. No fucks given. But I'm going to be honest. If you've ever been in a corporation that got taken over by another corporation in a hostile takeover, and you went to that first meeting where they're just trying to reassure everybody and they got the glassy look in their eye and it's really polished and they're nodding their heads yes the whole fucking time, and you're about to get fucked. That's how I felt about that goddamn press conference. It was a corporate takeover. That's my honest opinion. Now, if they prove me wrong, great. I will be glad to admit I'm wrong. I do not have a good feeling about this. If it turns out to be I made a mistake, I will be so effing happy to go, I was wrong. But right now, motherfuckers, show me. Show me. Don't tell me. Show me. It was like a corporate takeover.
Okay.
Lay down.
All right. Well,
everybody's entitled to their opinions. Just like I think it's a good thing.
I hope the fuck I can apologize to everybody next year and be wrong. That would be awesome.
I will say this, though. If you were to watch the press conference and you treated it like a game of Hi Bob when you used to watch the Bob Newhart show. Okay, remember, for those that don't know what the fuck I'm talking about, Bob Newhart used to have a show. Every time somebody would say Bob, it was a drinking game, so I know that Jason would like this. Every time somebody said Bob, you'd have to take a shot of whatever you had. When somebody would say hi, Bob, you had to finish whatever you had. Okay, so by about 20 minutes into the show, you'd be fucked up because they said Bob, hi, Bob, hi, Bob, a shit ton. Okay, Getting it back to point. If you were to name all the Raider cliches from this press conference in a Hi Bob game, you'd be fucked within about 15 minutes because it was...
You'd be dead from alcohol poisoning.
Okay, but that's the thing, though. They hit all the high notes. They said the greatness of the Raiders is the future, okay? Commitment to excellence.
Just win, baby. They said all that shit.
All that shit. But remember, it's all that shit to people that don't emulate, the people that don't want to buy in. And this was what was needed to be done to bridge that fact of, okay, the Raiders are starting a transition. It's post Gruden. They got rid of Mayock. Okay. There is likely a purge. We know that friggin' the oil can Olsen is gone.
Thank God.
I just saw today that fucking Cable's gone. So you know that those are two guys that are gone. Okay.
Oh, Cable's gone. I did not know that.
Yeah, according to what I saw, a tweet says that the Raiders have informed Cable your services are no longer needed. Okay.
So are they going to a power running game then?
Well, according to, and I have this as well.
Lay down.
I'm glad you asked.
No.
The McDaniel offense is a Earhart-Perkins offense. Ron Earhart, Ray Perkins. Okay.
Go lay down.
Dating from the late 70s, early 80s. And by the way, it's the same fucking offensive derivative that Carr ran in 2015 and 16, or 16 and 17, whichever years that Musgrave was there. He ran this offense, okay? A lot of two tight end sets, a lot of power running backs, a lot of slot receiver throws, okay? And who do we got on this team that's really good? Well, we got two dynamic tight ends. We got a running game that needs to be, more adept. And we got the newest version of Julian Edelman, Wes Welker, and Danny Amendola, and the best slot receiver, in my estimation, in the NFL. Okay?
Great.
We got all that. So now we just need to implement that and to solidify it and to make it juice. Okay? And I think that McDaniel is going to do that. What we don't know is, and ONT6 Soldier, I see you, partner. I'll bring you in just a little bit.
Yeah, he can come in because I got to jump out.
Okay, well, hey, thanks again, Jason Dean. Always a pleasure having
Jason,
you.
salute.
Salute. See you guys. Raider Nation for life.
There you go. Thanks again, Jason Dean, for coming in, brother.
Absolutely.
So In Gold needs to be brought back next year if we're going to go power. And Leatherface, who sucked in our zone blocking scheme, which is I think he's more of a power blocking, type offensive lineman. And I've heard rumors about they want to let go Good, which I don't agree with that. I like Good. I think Good should be back.
The reason why I hear that Good might be gone is apparently the guy that they're bringing in, Good and him do not get along, and Good had an issue with him as a coach in a previous stop. That's why I heard that Good will likely not be retained, is because and I don't remember the coach's name. I apologize, Jack, but they were saying that is the guy that they're thinking of bringing in and Good just do not get along. Kind of like if you were to have Lane Kiffin walk into my house, he'd have 5 in his face. Right.
Agreed.
Yeah, but you know what? This is not a family organization anymore. This is a corporate organization. We need to see what happens with that.
Well, again, we'll see, because again, it might be that McDaniels lays down the law, says, I don't give a fuck what your previous issues are. You're going to work together, which is good. Okay.
So I have a question for you guys.
Half the team right off the bat, like he did with Denver.
I got a question for you guys. OG, don't walk away yet. So do you think, since, McDaniel said 85% of the time where you're in a nickel defense, it really doesn't matter, 3-4, 4-3. So do they retain, Bradley, or do they go to, Winkendale and run that scheme? Because that's going to have a major impact on our draft of what we do.
Well, again, they will have this figured out before the draft. I was told by the things that I'm reading that Bradley and his assistants are getting an interview. Okay, they're all getting an interview, but I've also heard that they've all been interviewing for other jobs as well. So it is a matter of if they like what they see or hear, and it'll happen. Now, I know that Ron Miles, who is our D-backs coach, apparently is being interviewed for a DC spot, and I think he's going to become a DC in the future. If it's this year, it's this year. Hopefully not, because I'd love to keep Ron Miles on the team. Okay.
Ron Miles has been a blessing for our Raiders, that's for sure.
Yeah, but there's teams trying to lure him away to be the defensive coordinator for their teams.
That's what we're just talking about.
Enemies of donkeys.
Yeah. So we'll see what happens. And again, we don't know. And I also know people are bitching about Bisaccia not being retained as special teams coach. But, Jack, our special teams were not the greatest. We had a great punter, we had a great kicker, and we had a good long snapper, and they had that trio going against us. But the other 8 guys with them were not the greatest.
Yeah, well, we need to look at Josh McDaniel's emails to make sure we don't need to keep Bisaccia, because you need an assistant coach if somebody gets fired for emails. Just saying.
Well, you can also put another spin on it, too. It's like when Rich took over as head coach and the responsibilities expanded, We did have one of the best kickers. We did have one of the best punters. And we had the best play in the whole year in the way of Humphrey making that tackle. But, yeah, I agree. Our special teams play was average. But, you know, our players after Ruggs running back, you know, kicks and stuff like that, it downgraded. So you put all that extra responsibility on one man, which, you know, salute to him. 61 years of being never been done before, of like coming from like a special teams coach and getting us to the playoffs. Mad respect. If I was Mark, I would have said, you know what, let's retain him in any way possible.
You don't
pay
know
him head coach money, and then make him, you know, assistant head coach and special teams coach.
you don't know that wasn't an offer that was made.
I don't.
You don't know that. Okay, you say, well, if I was running this is what I would do, but you don't know that didn't happen. Okay?
Yeah, but see, understand this. Bisaccia is gaining ground. He got interviewed by the Bears, and they want him as a special teams coordinator if the
Jaguars
Raiders don't
as head coach.
retain him.
Yeah, the Jaguars.
Then he went to the Jaguars to interview as the head coach.
And I'm calling.
He's gaining ground where he goes because players fucking love him.
Okay, and I'm going to call bullshit on the Jags because I firmly believe, and ONT6, please jump in at any time, brother, because I know you're here. We want to hear from you.
I'm listening.
I firmly believe that the Jaguars head coaching thing is a crock of shit, and I'll tell you why. The Jaguars really want Byron Leftwich as their head coach, okay? And they're interviewing Bisaccia because they haven't called out a head coach yet, okay? And they're going to have him as a head coach candidate. They've also had, Vic Fangio will possibly be in there as well. But Fangio's waiting to see where the fuck Harbaugh lands, okay? But they did that as well. I firmly believe that the only reason why they had Bisaccia in as a head coach candidate is that if things fall through with Leftwich, it's one of those, okay, well, this guy does have head coaching experience and he's probably going to be on the cheap because the Jaguars are a cheap organization. And if they do get Leftwich, they did the cursory search for a head coach but said, hey, we like you, Rich, but we got Byron Leftwich as the head coach. Come in as the assistant head coach, special teams guy, because they've already did the interview.
Okay, but here's the thing. If these teams are starting to interview him as a head coach, gives him merit. And I'm going to tell you why. A lot of these teams are fucked up organizations. Like, we need to get the players all involved who love their coach. Okay? Do not think a shit show like Jaguars or Houston or any of these won't. Well, Houston's probably already covered. But here's the opportune time to get someone that all players like. And now, listen, man, I don't know if Bisaccia's ever drawn up an offense or a defense. If he has, he might have a shot somewhere. But right now, I think he's the odd man out of the NFL. And I really, really think Mark Davis ought to go, oh, by the way, motherfuckers, I brought you in here. Bisaccia is going to be our offensive or our special teams coach and assistant coach. You're good with that, right? Like, if you're going to be your daddy, be your daddy.
Yeah, I don't agree. I don't think so. And ONT, any thoughts before I go in on my thoughts?
No, I'm just saying. I don't think anybody that has anything to do with Gruden is going to be here no more. Coaches, scouts, anybody. I think they're going to clear house. You know, as much as I want to be honest, I want to keep Gus Bradley so we can keep running this 4-3. And Gus Bradley can draft the players that fit his scheme. You know what I mean? To be honest with you, but you know what I mean. That's the only thing I have to say about that. But you know what I mean.
Yeah, but see, Al Davis would have said, "Here's what we're going to do." Mark Davis is like, "What do you think?"
Yeah, that's the thing is too. I don't trust Mark Davis football wise at all. But I mean,
motherfucker can't even pick out a hairdresser. How's he going to pick out anything else? I don't trust that shit.
That's the only thing is, man. To be honest with you, because to be honest with you, I want jobs and hardball, but the same thing. You know what I mean? We can't always get what we want. You know what I mean? McDaniels is our head coach, and I'm gonna back him 110%. But I don't like the move, to be honest with you. I hope he proves us all wrong. He leads us to the playoffs and to a deep playoff run, brother. But you know what I mean? Until I see this free agency in this draft, we'll wait and see.
Harbaugh is just Gruden 3.0. I want absolute control. We did that. It didn't fucking work.
But
Well, with Harbaugh too, he's only good for 3 or 4 years, and everybody hates him. They always boot him.
Yeah, but see, here's the thing: he's been interviewed everywhere, and nobody fucking picked him up.
The only place he got interviewed was Minnesota.
And they're gonna hire him tomorrow as the head coach.
He got picked. He got interviewed by us.
Yeah,
he got interviewed by Minnesota.
Harbaugh,
You better get your ass back to fucking college football because nobody wants you in the NFL. You ain't all that. You just think you are.
Going to Miami, guys. He's going to Miami.
No, he's not. He's gonna get hired as the coach for Minnesota tomorrow. I just heard it on the news earlier today.
I said he's going to Miami. Miami has an opening, and that's where he's going to end up. Because if he doesn't end up in Miami, he's going to say, "I overplayed my hand. Now I got to go back to Michigan with hat in hand, like, please bring me back." Okay.
Yeah.
That's what it's going to be. If it's not Miami, then it will be okay. Sorry about that. I really was just kind of. I was kidding when I said I wanted to go to the NFL. What a laughing. Oh, you thought I was doing that for real? No, man, not at all. The
NFL is not going to put up with it. He thinks he's all that in a bag of chips. He's got a big-ass ego. He thinks somebody's going to let him have absolute control. Not going to happen. His ass will go back to college.
Yeah.
Well, you think that he's done that because, like, you know, he's trying to get a bigger contract. His pay, he got paid. You know, his pay got cut in half last year. So it's like he's trying to, you know, put the moves on, get a bigger paycheck.
Yeah, but guess what? By the time he ends up done, he's going to be getting, you know, $100,000 from Hobart and William Smith College next year because even Michigan's going to tell him to go fuck himself.
Okay.
So I got a question for all you guys. So what are you hoping for, you know, DC next year? You know, most of our coaches are going to be gone. Do you want Bradley back? Do you want Wink? Or you guys want to get the coach from, you know, Miami to, like, come in and take over as defensive coordinator? What do you guys want to do?
Here's the problem with DC.
Yeah, Brian Flores.
You talking about defensive coordinator? Or you talking about
defensive
Derek
coordinator? No.
Oh, okay.
Derek Carr. I'm a big Derek Carr fan. So
Brian
I'm
Flores.
talking about defense coordinator.
Brian Flores shot himself in the foot today by doing his lawyer speak against the NFL, and I think he would have had a possibility of coming in as a defensive coordinator, but the fact that he named Gruden in his lawsuit was the kiss of death with him coming.
Yeah, because Mark Davis and Gruden are still friends.
Right. Okay.
Done.
Jay Vince, you said
and Flores is a toxic motherfucker. I don't care. He doesn't know how to run a locker room.
If it's Jack, whatever. So I got on Instagram says, "Shut up, Jack. You're an ass." I said, "Okay, well, if it's me, then." But thank you for watching anyway.
No, I think Gerard Mayo's gonna be the defensive coordinator anyway. So
see,
I would have loved Brian Flores, but I don't think it's gonna happen after what happened today. So I think it's gonna be Gerard Mayo. Yeah,
no. I was gonna say, I think that I would like Martindale. Right now, I'd like Martindale. Now, if Vic Fangio is still out there, and all these guys are 3-4 guys, so get used to that, okay? But of all the 3-4 guys that are out there, I think that Vic Fangio plays that hybrid 3-4-4-3 defense that is more of like it can be like a 4-3 light or 3-4.
Okay, so who's our new offensive coordinator?
I'm hearing. I don't like the names I've heard. I've heard Mike McCoy.
I heard Bill O'Brien from the Texans. Oh.
No.
Oh my God! Hopefully
that's a shit show.
I hope not. I hope not. Because I don't think it's going to be Bill O'Brien because first off, he's an asshole.
Can't stand that.
And second off,
Texans suck.
Second off, is he emasculated and pissed off his team down in Houston? You want to bring him into our locker room? No, I don't think so.
On top of that, He traded a D-Hop for freaking David Johnson from the Cardinals. Like what?
Exactly.
In a second, and the running back in a second round pick. Horrible trade.
Horrible ass. He single-handed ruined that team for years, bro.
So who should we have as our offensive coordinator? Because I'm going to tell you right now, Carr's got to learn a whole damn new offensive scheme again for the 6th time in 9 years.
Jack Kenna, apparently he loves me. He was talking to you. Say you shut up, Jack. I'm just
sorry, man.
No, I mean, hey, don't worry, J Vince 19. We love you as well. Thank you.
To be honest, I don't care who. I don't think it really matters who's the offensive coordinator is going to be because Josh McDaniels is going to be running the offense anyways. You know what I mean? I think the biggest thing is going to be who's going to be the defensive coordinator.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
I agree with Richie Riche. I think Mike McCoy would suck. He's sucked on all his stops. He sucked when he was with Denver the first time. He sucked in San Diego. He's out of
don't deserve any of that.
He's out of the league. I don't want that.
I want an offensive coordinator that's willing to let Carr do what Olsen did and let him dictate the play, because realistically, the fucking guy has gone through 6 offensive coordinators. Come on, man. In 9 years, that shit's got to end. We got to stop doing a disservice to this guy.
That's why we need to leave this Derek Carr in shotgun like Musgrave did back in the days and just let him fling the ball around. You know what I mean? To be honest with you, I think that's our best bet. You know what I mean? But we'll see what happens, man. Just going to be a really interesting offseason, starting with free agency and the draft. And especially, too, we'll see who we cut and keep off this team, too.
I'm just sick of Carr getting fucking screwed by this team, man. It's sickening.
Man, better, too. Because everybody wants to say we've got to get rid of Carr, but do we remember all the quarterbacks we had? We had before Derek Carr and the Dante Culpeppers and fucking.
How many schemes did this guy have to learn?
A whole bunch, bro. It's getting ridiculous at this time. How many receivers? How many offensive linemen?
Let him go his own plays. Don't hire an offensive coordinator. Fuck it. Let's go. Let's go.
Well, McDaniel's going to be the guy who calls all the plays, just like Gruden. It's like whoever the offensive coordinator is. And he's really like Greg Olsen. He's going to be the helper. That's all he's going to be as a helper.
But the thing is that what McDaniel was in New England, he's going to need that type of guy to be what he was. Okay, he's going to be calling the plays, but he's going to need that OC in order to take the plays and make them run while he's doing all the other things. He's going to be calling the plays. Okay. He's going to be doing what Andy Reid did a couple of years ago before Andy Reid figured out that I need to have somebody actually call the plays.
Right.
So until it comes to that, our OC is the head coach, but there's going to be an OC in name that needs to be able to put the game cast out there to run different things while McDaniel does other things. And if they do that, then we're
just keeping Ollie. Shit. Yeah. I'll be right back.
Okay. But, I would say it just needs to be done. I'm more worried about who the DC is going to be. And by the way, I would like to have Joe Judge come in as a special teams guy, because then he does have head coaching experience with a shitty team, but at least he was there for 2 years. He can also help out the second iteration of McDaniel, saying he was a head coach before. That will help him out. Okay. And Joe Judge's special teams in New England were decent. They were better. I would say that they were at least top 10. Remember, you got 32 teams in the NFL. They at least had top 10 stats overall in special teams, and we got the best punter and kicker in football.
Yeah, we do.
We do. So, guys, one of the things that concerns me too is like if we go 4-3 to a 3-4, it's about our DBs. There's not a lot of talk about that. It goes a lot of like zone coverage to man, which takes a special type of player. And there's not been a lot of talk of that. So what do you guys think?
I actually asked about that. Okay. Go ahead, ONT. I'll give you my thought after you.
No, I'm just saying. I think besides Mullins and Nate Hobbs, we're gonna bring in 4 new man corners this year. You know what I mean? Because my brother's a
Hayward
pitcher.
be gone.
You know what I mean? He tells me they run a lot of man. You know what I mean? So, and the thing is, when Gus Bradley sits in zone coverage, the only corners that we've seen that can play man coverage is Nate Hobbs a little bit in college and Trayvon Mullins that can play man coverage. So everybody else, you can pretty much cut them off the team. Anybody that Gus Bradley came in last season is pretty much already you're gonna come off the team right away because they ain't coming back. So I think
agree,
at
Well,
least 4.
I was gonna say it depends, and I'll put it up what Stoffel the Badger said. It's up to the players. It's up to the players. If you have a guy come in like Jared Mayo, who is a younger guy that might be elevated to the DC position, okay, and the younger players buy into that, okay, maybe the guys that are Bradley disciples will say, well, hey, I like what we're getting out of Mayo. If there are guys that come in, like I said, Don Martindale is either kind of love him or hate him, but we'll see, okay. But and getting back to point. I asked Stu about this on his show the other night because I wanted to get his opinion. Okay, I said, Stu, what is the big difference in the back 4 on a 3-4 to a 4-3 defense? And Stu, because I said I need to know, and Stu said there is no fucking difference.
Yeah,
you got what your assignments are. Whether you're playing 4 back or 5 back, your corners and your nickel and your 2 safeties, whatever it is, there is no difference. He goes, what is in front of you does not fucking matter what the DBs do as long as the DBs do their job. And I'm like, oh, okay, well, I wanted to know that because everybody was saying, well, you need to have this type of corner in a 3-4 vice, this type of corner in a 4-3. That's why I asked him because, again, Stu knows. He played defensive back in the NFL, and if anybody's going to know, it would be Stu.
I understand it, but the thing is too, that it's a difference between Gus Bradley, cover 3 Mayo's. You know what I mean? 3-4 man coverage. You know what I mean? It's a difference in it. That's why we're gonna need corners either way. But that's the thing is too. I don't want to draft a corner in the first round either. You know what I mean? But that's a
game. What's up, bro?
And the thing is, too, I don't think Casey Hayward's coming back. I think if Gus Bradley leaves, he's going to leave with Gus Bradley wherever he goes. You know what I mean?
Hey, Captain.
Yes,
Can
sir.
you put the link in the chat? I'd love it if Raider Gabe jumped in.
Sure. Again, we are going over this is more than a 2-hour show. I will have people in here, no more than 3, though, because I actually got to get to bed.
No, brother, you know what? The reason I'm saying that is we had an amazing show tonight, and I got to thank you for that. You secured a Raiders legend into the show tonight.
I was.
We got Murph. We got Phil Villapiano. I wanted to talk about him and give his stats, and I was like, fuck that. Let's just listen to him. And it was awesome. It was amazing to talk with him. And then he renamed me. My name's no longer O.G.Daniel. When a legend renames you and re-nicknames you, you take it. I'm O.G. Jack Daniel now.
O.G. Jack. The pot smoker.
Jack to another. Woohoo! The pot smoker, according to Phil Villapiano. I don't even smoke pot, but all right.
Hey, that's good enough for me, brother. Shit. He's a legend.
He is an absolute legend. He is an amazing Raider. He's also the best storyteller we ever had, but his fucking football career speaks for itself.
Facts.
Absolutely, facts, OG.
Raider. We had Phil Villapiano on the show for the first hour.
Yeah. Make sure you go back and watch their Long Raider. Tell your friends. Said Phil Villapiano was on Captain Jack's show and Chronicles of the Black Hole show. Make sure you go over to YouTube, whichever one. In fact, tell them to go to both of them so get all the views up. So you go on Chronicles and on my show and get all the views up so that people know this platform, between what I put out and what Daniel puts out, we're trying to get you really good content. And it was my pleasure to bring Phil Villapiano to everybody. In fact,
share it, hit the thumbs, hit the likes, hit the subscribes, bro. We're trying to bring you the best content we can, and we are going way in over what we should be doing, and we get these amazing people, legends, to come on our show. And we had Phil Villapiano on tonight for the first hour, and dude, I was a little bit starstruck. I usually don't get that way, but holy shit, it's Phil Villapiano.
Well,
Hey, I was put up on the stream. I was like, I wasn't even on the show. I was like, holy shit, what the? Wow.
We're bringing legends on the show, bro.
Brother, I was begging to come on just to say hello to the guy. It's like I remember watching him in the 70s. Oh, my God. It's like he is what the Raider mentality, what it means to be a Raider.
Yeah.
He is that.
I agree. Confirmed. Bridge concurs, bro. Like, we had Phil on. We had Murph from Raiders Fan Radio, and I love Murph, man. Like, I'm a huge follower of that show.
We had Jared Bunch in as somebody who watched today. Jared Bunch, the former Raider and Giant, was in here on IG. I just saw that. I'm a little late, but he was in on the crowd tonight. So good to see you there, Jared. I'm not sure if he's still there, but Jared Bunch joined us. That was really cool.
And basically, when Phil Villapiano jumped in, I was like, holy shit, I got to change my underwear. I damn near shit
Me
myself.
too.
Oh, my God.
That was unbelievable.
Dude, we're trying to bring you the best content we can.
Nah, we appreciate it. We appreciate it, O.G. and Captain Jack. We appreciate it.
We want to make sure you guys see the best of the best.
Nah, we appreciate it. We really do.
Subscribe to my channel, subscribe to Jack's channel, hit the thumbs up, hit the likes, huddle up and subscribe, man. We're going to bring you content. We're going to bring you class act content.
For reals. Well, for sure, guys, I'm going to get out of here because I got to wake up at 3:30. I got to be at work at 4. I got a 10-hour shift tomorrow. So good night, guys. Appreciate it. God bless. And thanks for letting me come on the show, Cap.
Oh, always come on in anytime for sure. Always a pleasure to have you.
Ontario, love you, bro.
Have a good one, guys.
Thank you, brother.
Raiders! There you go. There you go. ONT6 Soldier. I said this is this is unless you guys want to, like I said, I put the link in there. If anybody else wants to come on, please come on. But otherwise, you know, if there's anything more to say, I think this horse is pretty much dead. But we did
one last question.
Yes, sir.
So if we do go to a 3-4,
and
you know, Super Bowl again.
Well, that all our Super Bowls come from a 3-4.
Yes, all the before.
But let's just say, okay, we go out, we sign a right tackle. We go out, we can maybe sign a receiver. But in our first round draft pick, if we're going to go to a 3-4, that I honestly like that kid Jordan Davis at 6'6", 340,
bro.
You know, for Georgia, I think he's a great starting point. You know, with Hankins being a free agent, even if we can sign Hankins, you know, he's going to be 30, 31 years old. I think Jordan Davis is our target, but I also feel that we need to trade up in order to get him. So do you guys
Jordan
feel that
Davis
we
will be our next
Chargers?
Matuzak if we go get him.
Yeah,
Jordan Davis will be our next Matuzak.
Jordan Davis, I know I've seen like the BSPN mocks. They have us. One of the guys has us taking. I can't remember if it's Bucky Brooks. I think Bucky Brooks has us taking Olave, the wide receiver out of Ohio State. The other guy has us taking Jordan Davis because he's on the board. I honestly, based upon what we'll see at the combine, I don't think that Jordan Davis is going to be there at 22.
I don't think either. That's why I'm saying I think the Chargers want him.
Okay, well, the other thing is that if you go by the new I'm not going to say the Patriot ways. I can't stand that. I can't stand saying that. If you want to go by the East Coast method, which is coming over to the Las Vegas, okay, I'll go there. Okay, that's a little bit more palatable to say. Okay, is that you don't trade up, you trade down.
I agree.
That's
I agree.
That's what they normally do, and that's why. And I will say his name correctly for all those here. Belichick has been accumulating a bunch of picks because with more picks, you have more opportunities to get better players. And if you mess up, you have more players coming in. Okay. So I want to see either, and definitely best player available or trade back. Okay. For more picks. But the other thing is that I don't think Javis will be there. Olave might be there. But what I'm going to say is there's another defensive tackle at Georgia whose last name is Wyatt.
Yep, number 2.
That is a stalwart kid. Okay? He's a stalwart kid. And if he's available, I would go for him. Okay? But it all depends upon if Ziegler is of the variety, the mentality of trading back to acquire more, we might be seeing that more often in with the Raiders.
So last question, then I'm going to peace out, guys. So, Captain, if we could have the number 2 tackle from Georgia or take Sauce from Cincinnati as defensive back, which works good in both schemes, what would you do?
Okay, what was the kid from Cincinnati?
Oh, Sauce.
I'm sorry, Jack. I am not up on all of these guys, much like Jason Dean.
From Georgia.
Yeah. I will admit that I know what my limitations are. I don't have enough time to do a bunch of draft. That's why I like when Jason Dean will give me draft analysis and Richie Riche will be deep in draft analysis because again, I don't have a lot of time to hit the internet during the workday. I'm actually surprised that I had a chance to watch the press conference because I snuck away to watch the press conference. Okay.
I'll take the kid from Georgia.
Oh, well, OG, I agree. You know, Davis, number 1, 6'6", 340. I agree. 3'4". He's a beast. He's going to be your run stuffer. It's like, you know, he's a no-brainer first and second down. Not a third down defensive tackle, but I would take him number 1, 2. And I know Raider Andy's that way too. And done.
Uh-oh.
We lost him.
Jack, and remember, my hands were up here. I did not do anything.
Can't revive him. He's dead.
I did not do that. Jack is on freeze.
He's in kryptonite. They're delivering him to Jabba the Hutt.
Okay, so again, that's not me. That's
Carbonite.
Yeah, using Carbonite. Certified Trouble. Good to see you on board here as well. Good to see you here in the show. You missed the Phil Villapiano show. So make sure you come back and see us.
Thank you for bringing on our special guests. This is probably the best fucking show we've ever had, bro.
Well,
we had Murph from Raiders Fan Radio, and then we had Phil Villapiano on the show. Like, this is content that's amazing to create, and we had a wonderful evening. I want to thank you for, although you were kind of a prick for not telling me, but
how am I? How am I?
Prick, you should have told me, man. I was standing there with my fucking mouth hanging open like a dog.
Exactly. The look on your face was exactly what I was going for.
Dude, this was an awesome show. This was probably our most awesome show. And we got exclusive content from Phil Villapiano, who told a story that's never been told before. And another story that he went more in depth with that was never told before. Dude, we had a great show tonight. like tonight was wow. And I'm really grateful I work with you. And I'm going to dip out. I'm going to try to find a way to sleep, which ain't going to be easy after this shit because I'm still running on adrenaline after we talked to Phil Villapiano. God damn, Skipper. Hell of a show tonight.
Well, I'm glad you enjoyed it. I'm gonna let you dip out. I'm gonna bring in before you dip out. I'm gonna bring in Richie Riche. Richie Riche, you're glad. I'm glad it's more than a 2-hour show because I keep telling you need to fucking come in earlier.
Richie Riche, now listen, he's a Broncos fan, but he's honest.
Yeah.
He's not hating. I go to his shows. He's a good guy. Don't get nasty. You get nasty,
I never
and we'll cancel your ass.
No, I never get nasty, Rich. I just tell you he's got.
I'm talking about the fans.
Oh, okay, yeah. For the no, Richie Riche is an associate member of the staff.
And I go to his show often.
Yeah.
Do not dog this guy because he's a Broncos fan. He's from Canada, and he's actually real honest from a point of view that we don't see because we're all emotionally attached.
That's right. That's right.
Oh, we really appreciated you coming to the show tonight earlier. That was awesome. Loved having you in there. Loved your questions. I know even the other guys on the show were commenting on some of your stuff, and our chat was. We always, we actually have the same kind of policies as, you come into the show. If someone says crap to you, trust me, one of us is calling them out. We have no room for that.
We're rivals, but I like going to your show and asking questions and spying on your ass. So, yeah.
No, for sure. Hey, Daniel, like I said, I'm gonna bring in Richie, or sorry, I brought in Richie Riche because I'm gonna a little bit longer, Richie, and I got God coming in as well. Okay, so once O.G.Daniel pops, I'm gonna bring in Richie Riche with God. So we'll have a little bit of both.
I'm not popping yet, so God can wait.
Okay, well then there you go. Richie Riche, you were talking about, and this was one of the other things. Thinking, I might do maybe another. Well, I'm not doing 3. I don't want to do 3. We'll see. You were talking about Jordan Davis and his conditioning. I agree with that. A guy that huge definitely needs to make sure his conditioning is up. So that's where the Raiders will need to make sure that the strength and conditioning coach, with the emphasis on conditioning, will be doing the job. And oh, by the way, if you guys didn't remember, Gruden's son was one of those guys, and I'm sure he's not going to be on staff anymore either.
No, my comments were not even speculation. My comments are based on actual fact when you watch him play.
Yeah.
He was not able to stay on the field for long stretches. He was not able to stay on the field for extended stretches or even all 3 downs when he probably should have been able to, or the team may have needed him to. So my comments were specifically based on not just speculation, based on the fact that he's just a mammoth of a man. My comments were based on the fact of when you actually watched him play, he just simply couldn't do it.
Right. Now here's the other thing, and the best comment that I saw, and it's one of the places that I go to for information, was that he reminds people, and I don't know, I know Daniel will probably remember this name, Turdell Sands. Okay, Turdell Sands was about that size. He was a mountain. Okay, he was huge. He was a DT. Occasionally went out to the end, but mostly he was a defensive tackle. He could block out the sun, but he couldn't stay on the field. He was oft injured and oft winded. And that's the one thing that I was looking at in one of the positives and negatives of Davis, is that he definitely needs to make sure that his regimen his conditioning will be improved, because otherwise I'll take Wyatt at that spot every day of the week, because the guy's going to provide both a running and but the other thing about Davis is that he's not a big pass rushing threat. He's a run stuffer. Whereas Wyatt can do a bit of both. He's a pass rusher and a run stuffer.
It all depends what you're looking for in the defensive scheme. Like, so for example, what you want from a guy like that is a guy that can take on 2 blocks and push both of those guys backwards. So you don't necessarily. It would be nice if he could get to the quarterback from time to time, but you don't necessarily need it. What you're really looking for him is to eat those 2 interior guys and force 2 guys to try to block him on the interior. And then you have your guys like, your Max Crosby's and your other guys like on your team to kind of take care of the pass rush side. And ultimately what your real goal is that you want him to push that interior pocket in so that the quarterback cannot step up. Then you're basically forcing that quarterback to step over, whether it be left or right. And that's really what's going to buy you that extra time and cause those sacks and interceptions.
Yeah, I agree.
Like really, the last interior guy that we had on the Broncos that reminds me of a hybrid guy, like you're kind of referring to, is a pot roast.
Yeah,
right. He was that rare breed of really big, but yet had a fast twitch to him, which was kind of rare. Maybe a more famous person in the recent era was Vince Wilfork of the Patriots.
Right.
He'd be another guy that most, some other people might know that's a little bit more recent that they might be familiar with.
Yeah, for sure.
Skipper, I got a dip. The shit's hitting me again. I get this freaking fatigue shit for the radiation treatments. Look, guys, I just want to tell you before I leave, I'm okay. It's just I'm gonna have to deal with this for the next 6 to 8 months, where I have to dip for fatigue. It hits me all of a sudden, and I love you guys, but don't worry about me. I'll be fine tomorrow.
Okay, well, yeah, go get some rest, man. You were talking about that, so yeah, Daniel has to go get some rest. So, again, enjoyed having him on as well. And the voice of God, the Raiders' voice of God, said he had to redo or restart his router. Okay, so we're gonna do that. Richie, I got about another probably another 5 minutes with you. And first off, did you get a chance to see Phil?
No, I didn't. Unfortunately, I was away from here for a little bit, but
okay.
I kind of came at the beginning bit. I missed him, and then I came back at the very, very back end of the show, and so I completely missed the Phil there. Unfortunately, I'm gonna try and catch it later.
Yeah, please do. Again, if you missed, we had Phil Villapiano on tonight. Make sure you watch the show on YouTube. Captain Jack Rackham Levy and Chronicles of the Black Hole. Just watch them both, and then tell all your friends. Put the word out there. We are trying to get the best we can have for great content here. And I also said, please comment after the show. Please comment after the show, because it helps us get the word out. There's more interaction, and people will see the show definitely more.
Are you okay if I plug another Raiders content show that I was on earlier today?
Sure, go ahead.
Yeah. So I was on earlier today with Wi-Fi Willie, hardcore Raiders fan. I got a great following. He just posted on YouTube, shared on Twitter. I was on for a guest segment there earlier today. He had me on to discuss Josh McDaniels, comparing, time in Denver versus what I expect might be happening there, and when he's with the Raiders. So that's something that you and your audience might be interested in, kind of hearing my take on that, because it's obviously from a unique perspective of someone who kind of went through it for a number of years.
Right, for sure. And I think bottom line is that you would think that a man has matured in 12 years since the first time that when you're given an what do you call it, such a large job to do. and you're young, and it's a little bit more than you thought it would be. You come back in 12 years and you have that extra go around, and you get a chance to hang out with and take pointers from, and I'm going to say not the best coach in football, but a top 5 coach in the National Football League in Bill Belichick. I'll give him his due. So you get another 12 years of learning how to do things, and now you're ready for the event again. So I think that would be nothing but a good thing for us.
I would agree. You also have to remember when he was in Denver, he also had GM responsibilities as well, where he was effectively in the Gruden role as a head coach, and so he no longer has those additional responsibilities or power, which really kind of forces him to focus on kind of the job at hand, which is coaching the Las Vegas Raiders. So I think that'll certainly I think be better for you, because I think I think was it Jason that was on earlier with you with the 4 of you on the screen.
Yeah.
He made a pretty good point. It's effectively one of those things where it's drunk with power, right? When you're young and you're drunk with power, you often abuse or misuse it, and I think that was a pretty apt statement from McDaniel's time in Denver.
Actually, Matt Marinovich, I know that's not directed at me, so he's asking you, who do you want as your quarterback next season there, Rich?
Well, I mean, obviously, if we put aside the 2 quarterbacks that the Broncos country's clamoring for, I think Drew Lock is probably the best fit. If you put aside Rodgers as the option coming to Denver, and assume he does not come to Denver, then my kind of next in line past that would be Drew Lock. Part of the reason for that is when you look at what the Denver Broncos were able to do with Drew at the back end of the 2019 season. So for the Raiders fans that may not follow the Broncos, or obviously don't follow the Broncos as closely as I do, or maybe not even know the differences in some of the offensive schemes that you're looking at on the field. Rick Scangarello runs the outside zone run scheme, which the Denver Broncos used to run when Elway was the quarterback, where you had TD and those legendary Broncos teams. It's part of the Shanahan style of offense, and Scangarello runs a variation of that based off of Shanahan's son's offensive scheme, Kyle Shanahan, there in San Francisco. So I think that's Drew's style. That's what Drew flourished in when he was with the Denver Broncos, and I think that he would make an excellent fit for the Hackett scheme, which is effectively in the same mold.
Yeah, and actually, I think that he will be a fine quarterback under Nathaniel Hackett, and it's just a matter of if they don't get Rodgers, then they got a young kid that has. I'm giving Drew Lock some props, because I thought he was a garbage pick in Missouri. I really didn't like the kid coming out of Missouri, but he's matured. He's gotten NFL smarter, and you put a good team around him, and there's nothing but going up with Drew Lock. And again, and that's high praise for me, is I thought he was like fecal matter coming out of Missouri, but he's gotten better.
Yeah, he wasn't great. And the other thing that I think a lot of again, this is the difference between someone who follows the Broncos really closely and obviously someone who kind of would watch them in passing, because you're probably more focused on following the Raiders. Drew Lock really had his growth stunted when they got rid of Rick Scangarello and that offensive scheme, which better fit his skill set. They moved to a 3 wide receiver set, where they had a spread wide receiver set and a power run scheme, which really did not fit Drew Lock's skill sets at all. And that was a real issue. So it really set him back a little bit, and he could have had much faster growth and better growth, and I think polish, if quicker, under the zone run scheme and the Shanahan outside zone runs and stuff. So I think our team basically did him a disservice by changing offensive coordinators when we did. So now that we're going back to it, I think you may well see Drew Lock make major strides forward, because as you pointed out, and I agree with you, he has really matured. He really, truly has. And I think that he can do some really good things.
Yeah, a Dark Raider, we did discuss Brian Flores. Brian Flores, I mean, let's put it this way. If Al Davis was alive today, Brian Flores would have had a phone call within about 3 minutes after he dropped the information that he was going to sue the NFL. Okay. If Al Davis was alive. But the fact is that Brian Flores put in his what do you call it, dissertation or in his lawsuit about 10 to 15 line items about John Gruden. John Gruden did this, John Gruden did that, John Gruden did the other thing, John Gruden, and it was not positive. Okay. So the fact that Brian Flores' attorney dropped dime on John Gruden for his lawsuit in part of his dissertation, Brian Flores is no longer not even a thought candidate to come to the Raiders. Okay. So that's what I wanted to get you caught up there, Dark Raider.
Now, where I'll admit my kind of blind spot is I don't know all the details of the interview process that you've gone through at the Raiders for your head coach and all those things. What I can say is some of the elements and things that were brought forward by Brian Flores about the Broncos, because he specifically names the Broncos in the suit. I don't know if you and your audience.
Yeah, I saw that too.
But some of the things were kind of on questionable grounds because, he alleges that there was some, misrepresentation and racism within the hiring practices. However, in the same cycle, which we did not hire him the first go round, we hired Vince Joseph as our head coach. So it's a bit of a stretch in that regard to kind of point at discrimination in the hiring process when, I mean, it's pretty hard to kind of go down that route. And then on the flip side, he's going to have to show proof of some of the allegations that he made about Elway and Ellis showing up, whether it be hungover, drunk, etc. Otherwise, all that is a disgruntled hearsay, from a guy that never got hired. And that'll be a really difficult thing to prove in the court of law, or even prove at all, for that matter.
Got it. And that Butter Pecan, thank you for saying. She says, "Hey, that's my favorite pirate. How you doing, darling? Good to see you as well." Again, if you're on Instagram, I posted this up to Instagram. But please come on over, see the whole interview with Phil Villapiano, Captain Jack Rackham, over on YouTube. Captain Jack Rackham on YouTube, Chronicles of the Black Hole. Make sure you get that and watch it and share it up, because there's no reason why Raider Nation shouldn't get a great interview with the great Phil Villapiano. And I was very awesomely humbled that I was able to get Phil. And I wouldn't have Phil on my show unless I had a buddy that worked for me. Not worked for me, but worked with me in order to get it done. And I thank him immensely as well. Let's say and Matt Marinovich, love Matt Marinovich's stuff. Given 100,000. Yeah. Tanking for Tua. That's a lot to prove or a lot to even digest. Is it possible? Is it feasible? Sure. It is feasible. And they ended up getting him anyway. But, and he, like I said, remember, Brian Flores is on record saying, I didn't want to as my quarterback. I wanted Herbert. And he was correct in that statement, based upon what we've seen the last 2 years, that Herbert is the quarterback that's ready to ascend higher than Tua. So, the Dolphins are in a mellow mess. Yeah.
Now, if I'm going to just call out from that thing, the only part that I have seen of the suit thus far where I really actually think he has a reasonable shot of getting the Giants and or the NFL in this is the text messages that came to him from Bill Belichick. Because I have a legal background. I don't know if you know that. I grew up in a legal setting and actually work at a law firm for my day job. But in terms of the law, half of the law in terms of how it's applied in the courts has to do with the spirit of the law. And the spirit of the Rooney Rule is not just to bring in someone because you want to bring someone in because they fit a certain, ethnicity or what have you. The spirit of the Rooney Rule is to diversify the NFL properly, and give people opportunities where clearly in the past they were not given opportunities to be hired as head coaches at the NFL level. And the text that we saw from Bill Belichick to Brian Flores there clearly would show in a reasonable setting, in my opinion, that since Brian hadn't even been interviewed yet by the Giants, and then he received those text messages from Bill Belichick, and then Bill Belichick openly admitted, "Oh crap, I texted the wrong Brian." That clearly shows you that his interview with the Giants was
a farce,
perhaps not above board or a farce. And I think that's the one. I think that's the one thing in all of this so far that I've seen that actually has some real merit to the elements of his suit. And frankly, I actually would hope that he would have only brought that forward, like as just that one element, because I think it would have been a little less shotgun and a little bit more sniper in terms of, in terms of an example, because some of the other things are just hearsay and it comes off as being somewhat petty in some respects. And I would have much preferred him go after the hard evidence, like the Bill Belichick stuff, where you literally have, like, here's a copy of the text message, right?
Yeah, and I agree with that. If you're going to snipe at the NFL, you better have your ducks in a row. And that was the kill shot of having your ducks in a row. The rest is fluff that's going to dilute the product.
That's exactly 100%. That's exactly where I was kind of going with that, is that you don't want to dilute the hard evidence that you have in the Giants case there. Frankly, the Giants case, in my opinion, is the case that you have against the NFL and everyone else in this process. So why not just go for the kill shot?
I agree. Richie, I'm going to basically, because I'm tired, I'm going to wrap it up. And again, we've had you on for a bit, so actually a little bit longer than, because again, you're always great content. And so for folks out there, if you have not already, if you didn't already know, we had Phil Villapiano on. Make sure you go to the YouTube that you're watching right now. Watch from the beginning. Tell your friends. Share it up, because there's no reason why we all can't enjoy. And I'm not just saying this because I'm promoting the show. I'm just saying that you missed a hell of a show because it's all Phil. It's all Phil, and you can't write that. You can't script that shit.
No, I agree. And one other thing that you and your fans can do is kind of share stories of when they watched Phil play. A lot of times you have some fantastic stories of folks that actually watched him live, that kind of stuff that, some of the younger fans and the younger generation coming up won't necessarily have that information. So documenting that in comments and stuff like that is sometimes the only way that the younger generation can actually learn about the players of the past. So anyone coming in that has stories and stuff like that, that's great comments in the video for younger folks that just never had the pleasure, right?
You got it. And again, folks, I appreciate you being here. Please please comment after the show. It only makes things better for us. And with that, I'm going to do my outro, because if you guys haven't heard the ding dings, I'm getting some ding dings via comms I got to get to. So I got to get to those. Y'all take care. Be well, and we'll see you for the next show tomorrow night, Wednesday night show. Be there, okay? Be there. And again, Richie, always a pleasure, shipmate. And we'll see you next time.